live now. Get everything set up here. I don't have to do any surprises or tricks this time since you guys already know what the hell's going on. And Chase should be ready here in a second. Just doing that. Let's just get this all out. Okay, cool. Alright, let's get him in here. He fucking did it. Okay, I've got you. Good, good, good. Guess it really was on sale. Okay, we are live. I don't hear you yet, but I see you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
I'm
now
a
we can
little
hear you.
shy.
Okay,
I'm the Pink
cool.
Ranger this time.
The compensation ranger. We'll have to do
Alright,
away
it's
with
not
her.
actually the Pink Ranger. It was Goose Games. All along.
It was the friends we made along the way.
Oh, sorry, what's that?
It was the friends we made along the way. So what's your over-under on JM's compensation?
Did he get any?
We don't know yet.
Oh, no, not a chance, because they're already blaming it on him.
Oh yeah, I looked over what he was given, and I'm like, this makes no sense.
They said that he hit the delete button, which wouldn't that take? I don't know. Does that take you out of a guild?
I don't think it would. I mean,
All right, Kage. The people in your guild. I mean, your minions aren't that bright. So just tell one of them to delete their account and see if it's still on the guild roster.
Duke, I need you to go delete your account and get back to me. He would do it. He would do it.
Gonna need you to fall on my sword, on your sword for me.
I mean, we could always test it out, too. We could just do like an alt account, have it join a random guild, and see what happens.
I mean, that's like the next time I want to do another sub guild for if we keep getting new players into the game. Yeah, I'll probably just make an alt account to do it because I hate to say it, but like you proved that guild rank really doesn't mean anything. Guild level, however, like yeah, and plus for all but literally the top handful of guilds,
It's a joke.
the thing that matters is top 100, and it's not hard to make top 100. And it's only 250 gems less for being in the top 500. Top 500 is automatic.
Right, there's no competition. Exist is asking who is your main guild fighting this today for GVG. Anybody notable?
Oh, I can't remember if they I asked them, and then I told you like, yeah, I'm free all day. I'm free all day, and I don't have much going on. But no, nobody posted any shots. I'm on the outside now. Oh no, I joined CG13 to help them out this month.
Yeah, now you're fighting bot guilds and people with nothing.
Yeah, so I am just as curious as you are who the Chasers are facing. I know that CG13 just stomped their first round. I'll tell you, players that started like they're like, oh, noobs, great. They won't, they'll all have shit accounts, and like, if some of them put some work in, they're like, yeah, I'm a new player, but they're showing off their team, and I'm like, they've got a three awakened FAC and a maxed out Sorrow, so yeah, you know what, you're in. We'll tell you, we'll help you out. Because really, like, that's enough for a good team right there. You got 130 points, you just fill the rest in.
Right, they don't have to do too much else at that point. Anything they're fighting on the lower end bracket is going to be able to go against that. You'll just smash them.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, and then so CG13's first match, we only had a 10-man guild. We've got 12 registered, and yeah, I think that I don't know if that was everybody in the guild. By the way, as far as guild rank, we're already in the top 300, but like we're low 300 rank. So like I said, as long as you're above 500, yeah, we're ranked 339. So we've only got 12 members, I think.
And you're going to
Um,
benefit a lot more from just the arena ranking itself for the gems there. So it's like, why even. Like, I saw a guild on the main court. Like, how does the matchmaking work? Well, your guild's level 49, Big Dracky Squad's level 54. Your fancy buildings have brought you pain.
Look, so I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm not even going to name the guild, but we're up against another guild. They're actually right next to us in rank. I'm like, we're never going to find out who these guys are. I'm talking about CG13 still
Mm-hmm.
here. And they're like 4 spots ahead of us, so we could actually see them on the list. And again, like, it's probably a lot of new players, but it's like, it's one check that he was the guild leader, but there's one whale. He's like, Max Sorrow, Max Fallen Angel, Corvus, and other stuff. Who, by the way, Outbreak came over to CG13 with me. I think he's free to play or pretty close, and he took on that team, so good for him. I wouldn't want to take that thing. I don't really have a great answer for FAC in my box. Um,
Baramos.
Baramo? Okay, see, I only know how to blitz, though, and I guess I could put agility gear on. No, I think Baramos is too slow for agility gear to help, isn't he?
He's too slow. I mean, you basically let
Yeah.
him come in, and FAC is like the ultimate easy counter because he's weak to confusion. So if you have him
Okay.
blossomed, he does his
And
little wave, follows up with bang that he's weak to, and he just falls over.
Okay. That's what he said he did. He said he used Baramos, but like I literally only know how to blitzkrieg in PvP. So I bring mostly an evasion team, and I kill my. I don't know about you, but if you bring evasion units or not, I kill the threats, I kill the casters, and anything like Sorrow, obviously. And then you can just kind of leisurely mop up the rest when you bring pretty much a full evasion team. Everything will just keep swinging at Duel or Elena. Um, but anyway, so it's like one whale made a guild, and everything else in it, it's just noob accounts. Like nothing is max level, barely anything is max rank. So even the newer players that I've got in CG13 right now, we're just cleaning up.
Now, for
Um,
science purposes, what level is his guild and what level is your guild?
that's what they're like 4 spots ahead of us.
Yeah, check
I
what
can
their
just look
actual
at.
guild level is. I'm curious.
Uh, it's they're also in the 330s. I don't like I'm trash talking a little bit, so I don't want to put a name out there.
Well, you don't have to put it in. I'm just
Um,
curious about the
yeah,
level for
no, they're in the
matchmaking.
330s. Of course, you can't really scroll back that far, but yeah, they are 3 spots ahead of us. So we're yeah.
And then when you click
um,
on them, what does their level tell you? Because it's going to be, let's see, it's
oh
very
yeah, that's right. I
confusing.
looked at that before. That's relevant too. Yeah, they have one previous GVG and they got Platinum One, which Platinum One is still, well, that's still.
That's not bad.
I'm trying to. How do I make that a backhanded compliment? Because that's what you guys got last month, right?
Yeah, that's what, yeah. Totally fucked that up.
Um,
Totally fucked
yeah.
that up.
Um. All right, dude. If you're facing a guild in GVG, you should just be able to see their info. It's so annoying that you have to find them on the rank page,
Right, so
which is only
you
possible
don't
if you're
know.
in top 200, which I mean is most players. But
Like if you weren't close to them on the physical ranking, the 300 plus, you'd have no idea what the hell's going on.
yeah, so they're 19 out of 20, but they only had 12 signups. Um, Okay, yeah. So the whale is the leader.
And then what does
Flint.
it say for
Whoa.
guild rank in his actual guild info?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they're 34, just like
34.
yeah. Chasers is sorry, CG 17, CG 13. Oh, we're only ranked 17. I thought we were higher. We're level 17. Okay.
And they're level
We're ranked we're in the
34.
330s, but level we're only they use the same terms. So
Huh.
placement we're in the 330s, and the actual guild rank is 17. But yeah, our opponent is guild rank 34, but that's also very low.
That's a 17 level difference, though. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Um, did you say so? You said that you took on bot guilds before
Yeah.
in the last GVG.
When we got to the divisions where they had the Masters and the Platinum League, there wasn't enough real opponents there to match us against. So we had like two bots and two real guilds in there.
So like, I'm sorry, I never take anything for granted. I don't want to say that I don't trust you, but like, how do you know that they were bot guilds?
They didn't fight back at all.
Oh, they
Not
didn't fight at
didn't
all.
fight at
Okay,
all.
okay, no real players would do that.
No
At
real
least not like a whole
player
team.
getting to platinum
They'll
would
take their
not
30
fight.
gems, yeah,
Yeah.
especially in platinum. So okay, huh? But yeah, I mean, so we've already look the team that we're taking on today. They're a very similar, uh, you know, rank to us. Well, contribution ranking to us. But we're gonna stomp them because they've got one real team, and we've already stomped
Well,
it.
plus you
So
have coordination. I doubt they have a Discord. I doubt they have any place where they can talk
yeah,
with one another. You're able to plan, strategize, and attack, which, for whatever reason, our version isn't allowed to have communication. We don't get compensation or communication.
I gotta tell you, like, it's funny when I'm not upset about something. Good old doom and gloom himself. Um, dude, we wouldn't actually use guild. Like, it'd be nice for like, yes, the random guilds, but like, dude, it's so easy to make a Discord. Just put the Discord in your description. Say you gotta join, or we're gonna kick you eventually. So even if you're not like a huge DQT celebrity, like myself and I guess you, um, uh, what is it? Yeah, you can still get your teammates in there, and even if only half of your, you know, uh, chasers had a couple of guys that we just took in because they applied and they had good accounts, and one of them joined eventually. But anyway, even having like half your team in a Discord helps a lot, and it makes it a lot more fun. We have so much fun with GVG. That's why, like, literally, that's why I started the second guild. Is like, dude, we're having fun. We got better at PvP together. Let's try to spread this.
And if you get really good at coordination, you could cheese the system when your sub guild fights your main guild and you all just forfeit and everybody wins.
I can't believe that's happened to you twice.
Yep.
All right, now when you say sub guild, your sub guild was also a low level too, right? So do you have like a guild of like excess players, and then what? Did you delete your, we'll call it your main guild again, or are you just running with the same? Because you're still
So,
far enough guild level, whatever, but below the big guys to not worry, right?
uh, apparently, I mean, I'm a little concerned about the range because I think the range is 20 now instead of 15 from what you told me. But we're at right now, we are
It
at.
might work different. It's they're pay. My guess is that they do the best they can. So they probably try to keep things within 5 to 10, and then if there's just nothing, then they go up to 20.
Because we're at 35, so I mean, realistically, if the threshold is 20, we could end up going against some of the bigger guilds. But I mean, Zenith is an interesting guild because they're 61. They're the highest guild in the game, so I wonder how limited their pool is as the top tier guild.
Hmm. I don't know. By the way, dude, I know that I was checking. Is anybody visible in It's a third rank guild. That's Starfall, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to check them for. I guess it's too late now, but like, I wanted to check most of their team members. I guess it's like a strategy thing for them. They have their box hidden. I wanted
Well,
to
they
see how
have
many
to.
Max and I wanted to see how many Max and Lucias they had while they were, fighting for JM.
The answer's probably 19 because JM couldn't log in.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, what's up, Platt?
Hey,
Um,
Platt.
dude, what a way to show that we are weak-willed, just gambling addicts. People couldn't resist.
Well,
Like, dude, this is and Lucia's whale only. There's so much better shit around the corner.
well, you saw it
Um,
firsthand on your Discord. You had somebody who had a real problem. They couldn't get any support from the game at all, and they were looking to try and get income to supplement buying gems in the game after their negative experience with Square. It
oh
just
yeah,
it happens.
I think a
There's
lot of people go like, "Oh, sorry to interrupt." Yeah,
now you're fine.
I think a lot of people acknowledge like, "Oh yeah, it's gambling." Right. I'm addicted. Sure. No, really, it's gambling, and you're addicted. Even when you're upset about being shit on the last couple weeks, you are still like, "Yeah, well, I'm not gonna stop though." So
It's like if you had a bad experience at a restaurant, you would most likely not go back to that restaurant if it was a really bad experience across the board. But let's say Square's that restaurant, you keep fucking going back every time they give you shit, you don't care.
yeah, oh, I just don't understand it. And look, I made a video about this. I'm gonna kind of throw out a PSA again, and I think this is like really obvious for the people in like the Marco Court, especially if any of them are watching this. Please spread this if you believe me, because I don't think you can argue with this. If you guys were upset, anybody that was upset for the last 2 weeks, if you just drop it now, proven that you threw a temper tantrum and you needed no intervention. And that is, I guarantee you, Square Enix is going to see that. Okay? If you just calm down, if you just take it lying down, I think you made it worse. Seriously, if you threw a temper tantrum last week, and then you're back to like, hey, what's up, guys? Can't wait for the next thing. Whatever. Everything's great. This game's awesome. Fuck you. Because you're making things worse. I'm so, like, and I know that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, Rank 8 shop is coming. I don't know who Exist is. Rank 8 shop is coming, and it's going to come during the Mindini's Dream whatever thing, when we're probably due for another campaign.
Now the question
So,
is, what are they going to do with those tickets? Are they going to extend the EKM banner? Are they going to give us something else comparable? It's like they created
I'm,
extra logistics because they neglected us.
yeah, I think they're going to. I think they're going to sandpaper them and shove them up our ass.
Oh, magical. Well, it sounds like a normal Tuesday.
That didn't make any sense. But anyway, no, we're not getting any EKM tickets, dude. It's too late. They don't care. Which, okay, they didn't promise them to us, but like they said that was their first concern. Oh, you didn't get the shop. Obviously, they're concerned about the tickets for the worst banner for the last couple months and the ever. They're never going to make a unit as bad as EKM again. He's not bad. He's just not good enough. Um, they think that's what we're worried about. It's like, no, I want my fucking orb. I want crystals. I want iris. I want gold. I want to not be pissed on compared to the JP audience. That's what I'm upset about. I think they honestly, I've said this a lot. I don't know if people think it's an overstatement. I think they hate the Western player base. I think they're like, no, our Japanese players can have the good stuff, and they can suck my ass. Whatever. The Westerners, they'll get what we give them.
I just don't get how hard it is to not keep the shop in. It took more
Yeah,
work for them to remove it and then have to put it back in later than if they did nothing and just left it the way it was.
yeah, just copy paste. That's all we want. Look, I know that you mention this still sometimes. We've known since very early on we're not getting global exclusives or even global first, but like,
No, we're not.
just make us copy paste. That's all I want. This game would be fantastic if we could just get copy paste. I don't know if you've heard me make this little our version of copy paste is like a serial killer letter note. Like we get bits and pieces cut out and cruelly spread onto a sheet, and it's like, here, you get some of it. You get the parts where you give us money, and then we don't give you extra orbs, resources, or anything. I don't know. But,
Oh, it's just such
sorry, I feel
bullshit.
like I'm doing the most rambling. My bad.
That's okay. I mean, you've got a reason to. I mean, between them basically telling JM that it's his fault for pressing a button in a game and fixing it after 2 videos and a bunch of outrage, which don't fucking know why they couldn't have gotten that done sooner. I mean, it's not like this guy was a normal Joe spender. It's not like he put a couple bucks in here or there. But you go back and you listen to some of these people who've had problems fixed. It took, I think it took Pack like 6 weeks to get an issue addressed with them. Like 6 weeks to get some stuff handed back to them. Why?
And it's just they have to have some system to like give things out to individuals, so it shouldn't be too hard. And they severely overestimate the value of things. Like when they give us like one experience scroll, or early, they're getting a little bit better. Remember, like they all-purpose atoms would be like 1 or 3 at a time. It's like this is a valuable thing, but like not that valuable. Like just give us 10.
Well,
No, even that's not a big deal. They're so stingy with everything, and I think they have this mentality that everything that they give us for free is something that we would have bought otherwise. And it's just not true.
there's
People
one
buy
thing
more
that's
when they're treated well.
has chapped my ass since the start, and that was I remember you saying something about Dokkan having like meaningful achievements for playing the game for like over a year, and then you look at
Oh
the
yeah,
feats you get in this game for playing for over a year, and it's like fuck all. It's like why wouldn't you want to give somebody something useful for sticking with your game for over a year? Oh, here's like a rank A scroll, or here's like a tome, or here's like 5K gold, or 30 or 50
yeah.
gems for
What is it,
being there
50
for a
gems or
year.
something?
Some bullshit. I'm gonna look now. I'm curious.
Yeah. Um, no, it's just crazy. By the way, yeah, I agree with Platt and chat. Like, again, I'm probably beating this to death, but like, just the mistreatment feels intentional. Like, I don't see a strategy. It just feels like fuck those guys. And I know that
So
sounds childish, but I just can't wrap my head around anything else.
my next login reward, I'm at 560. I've missed a couple days. Is at 630, and I'm gonna get two 5K or 10K XP scrolls. Wow! Like you get that in a fucking day. Like
Hmm.
congrats! You've played the game for 630 days. Here's peanuts. And then if you get the 720 days, you get one rank A tome. Ooh! Like
Yeah,
why? Why even put some of these rewards in after a while? It's just there's nothing special here. There's nothing meaningful for people who've stuck with your game. It's just cookie cutter bullshit.
yeah. Oh, by the way, another thing that they're kind of overvaluing. Yes, we need them. Yes, one at a time is appreciated. But the rank 8 crystals, is it illustrious crystal? Um, dude, why are we getting like one in an event shop? Why are they getting the same value as an iridescent orb for like decorations? Dude, the Anlusha decorations or whatever they are. You get five for you can get five for the orb, and then another five for a crystal, and then stamina herbs. Look, I don't have patience. I got the orb, and I am fucking done with that. I managed to get 5 decorations on the 16 and 17, and I don't know. Maybe I'll be in the mood to go back later. But like, if that is really hard for you, if you have to if you have to spend tomes and rank up different items, shit, or units, if you have to blossom something you weren't intending to do first, like a one rank 8 crystal is not the effort. For me, it's not worth the frustration. I find it very frustrating. So, um, yeah.
I'm trying to fix your volume now. They're saying you're a little low.
Oh yeah, that can happen.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. Say something now.
Now something now.
Cool. All
Um,
right, fixed it. There you
All
guys
right,
go.
cool.
So yeah, it's like you can get. Sure, you have 3 to 6 chances a day to get one of those crystals. We need a ton of them. I mean, somebody's probably done the math. We probably need like what if you want to rank up everything, like 400 of the fucking things, and you put one in the shop. Like why?
Hmm. I just yeah, they really overvalue some items. Yeah. Um, Sorry, I lost. I was focused. I was lost. I was looking at where I was on the camera. I'm like a parakeet or what? A canary. I just stare at my own
Chase,
reflection.
want a cracker?
Yes, please. Let me see. What are some of these comments we're saying? Exist. Um, Beginner. Yeah, the beginner things are nice. I don't. They didn't do that again for the 2 years. So that was a one-time thing they did, refreshing the beginner package. I think. Um, but
Whatever happened to that gem sale? They did one. They did one
yeah,
gem sale, and then they never did another one ever again.
okay, I'm gonna be the actual guy here. It wasn't actually a sale; it was a bonus. And honestly, dude, I fucking raged when I saw it. I literally was pissed off when I was streaming the 6 month. First of all, I was on vacation and I woke up to do it, and it was like 2 or 3 hours late. I can't remember, but it was a 10% bonus approximately in free gems. So the 11,700 pack gave you an extra 1,700 gems. Uh, so it comes with an extra half multi. That was the anniversary bonus. Dude, I was so close to uninstalling right there. But, addicted, so.
Well, at least you got that. I had no idea it was coming. I had already topped off like 2 days before it happened, and then they dropped it, and I was over here like, I'm not putting any more in. Fuck you guys. Where was my heads up on this? Like, why? They never responded to me. I'm like, hey, could I maybe get some of these free gems since I was kind of close to the cutoff? I never got a response back on that.
Yeah.
No surprise there.
Dude, yeah. No, there's basically no support. Um, I don't think I've had to do anything with customer support, but yeah, no, they're not going to do a thing for JM. Um, and I got to test it after this. Like CG13 still has spots left. Like I'll make um I'll make like a quick alt account, join CG13, and then just leave and see if it's still in there. Because if you can still see a guild member in the guild, then he didn't hit the delete button. Because you know what I'm talking about, right? You said that they're like, yeah, you hit the delete button. We could tell that.
Right, which
So
didn't make any sense because the account still had physical presence the entire time.
yeah, and I think he's used to switching back and forth. So on one hand, he does it a lot. On the other hand, I know that when I was playing with an emulator for streaming purposes, I was terrified the entire time of what I pressed. When switching the accounts. I don't know if you've had that experience, but yeah, because you have to hit delete play data before you log in. So there's really, yeah, he would have to really have screwed up. So I
Right,
don't
because I
believe
mean,
that
if
he
you
did.
don't hit the delete play data, you end up going into like a fresh account, so you have to back out, make sure everything's cleaned, and then put your account on top. I've only had to do that a couple of times because I really don't trust their system. So I mean, if I get a new phone, I bring everything over. Otherwise, I just keep the account on one phone for as long as fucking possible. Because again, uh,
Hmm.
I'm fucking afraid to get locked out for like 20 days and just be like
You,
JM.
okay, so here's the thing to remember: you do not need to delete the play data from your old device when you transfer. Just as long as you have it backed up, you can log in on the new device, and then if you want to use the old device for a different account, or I think probably to even go back to it once it's transferred onto another device, you need to delete your play data before you put that account on. I don't know what deleting. If you delete your play data, it should still be backed up. You're just like kind of. I think it's the same as logging out, but I'm not going to take that chance.
No, I've always
Um,
had it somewhere. I didn't completely wipe it off of a platform. I
Pack
either
is
had it on
saying,
a tablet or something.
yeah, Pack is backing me up. I think that your account is backed up. So deleting play data is just deleting it off the device. So is there even a delete account button? Is there?
I don't. I'm gonna look now because I'm.
I don't think there is a. Like you can delete your play data when you aren't backed up, which I thought might be what happened with JM because rather than like a only one guy with a high profile for the most part um, deleting his thing.
I mean, there's
Um,
an ability to remove the account if I click on that, but that sends me to a separate screen for like the Square Enix part. That doesn't.
that just takes your
Yeah,
account out of backup.
I
So yeah,
don't
I mean,
see
if
a
you delete
delete.
your play
Delete.
data when you're not backed up, yeah.
See, here's the data management on the front screen. I'm gonna try that.
So
Let's
you would
see.
have to delete your account. You would need to make sure that it's not backed up, which there's no reason to do that while you're switching profiles or devices. And
So
then
weird.
while you're not backed up, you would have to delete your play data, which there also isn't a reason to do. He would have to fuck up big twice. And there's no way that you would accidentally um, unback up
That's
your
that's a
account.
lot of
So
steps to fuck up. That
yeah,
yeah.
you would only be able to do it intentionally. You would have to unback up, remove your backup account, which you wouldn't do as part of transferring because you can't transfer if you're not backed up. And then he would have to delete himself off the device.
That'd be like for somebody who's looking to quit the game. I think Piova actually did that because he was a guy who I gave him the tag revolving door in Discord because this guy would come and go every couple months, bitch about the game. He'd be back, he'd be spending, and then one day I found out the guy's on SSI for Christ's sakes. Like Jesus Christ, like
Yeah,
this is
I
not
know
the
who
game for
Nibs
you.
is.
So like I'm glad he quit because literally this guy could have like just lost his livelihood trying to play this game.
Sorry, I'll be back in 1 sec.
Sure, no rush. Let's see what he's got in the background. So he's got a white Ranger helmet. He's got the pink one.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
He's got the pink walls, which is questionable. He's got a couple of figurines.
Ugh. I got a whining little brat at my door.
Oh, kitty? Hopefully a cat.
No, a little bit bigger. Let's
Oh.
see. Hi, Cornelius.
Cornelius. Oh, pup. He's a good boy.
Come on, smile for the camera. Don't. There's no peanut butter down there this time. Don't put your head there.
Jesus Christ. That sounds like
Hey.
something Pac would do.
I was a good citizen. I quarantined responsibly, and you got to make do. And he loves peanut butter.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, sorry, that's too much.
I mean, Pac has a dog. He names it Trop, and they have a similar relationship.
Actually, I'm just I kind of snuck that in. Couldn't agree on a name, and I love Fight Club, and Cornelius is kind of the unofficial name of the main character in Fight Club because in the movie, he's got a different name in the movie, but they never actually. He doesn't have a name, so that's the first fake name he gives in Fight Club.
So it's kind of like that dude from Hellraiser when they call him Pinhead, but that's not really his real name.
I never saw Hellraiser, so
Oh my god.
yeah,
Well, at least you saw Fight Club.
dude, love it. Good book too.
Yeah, I'm not going to read. That's your department.
They've got audiobooks now, so don't worry.
I guess, like, I don't know. That sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, here we go. You gonna look at the camera now, buddy? Yeah?
Now he's going to look at the camera.
Oh, corny, not in front of strangers. Right, there we go. Sorry.
No.
Sorry, I can only see my camera on delay, so I don't know how much you got. Anyway, sorry to just
I don't
put the
care.
dog into this. That's the only way I ever got viewers, though, was my cats. So,
They work. They bring people to the table.
yeah.
So
What
we've
you
got
say,
we've got no chance of him getting compensation. We're getting the shop eventually, and now we're getting a take my top off Jessica. If she gets 5 awakenings, she gets the tassels or something probably.
I'm
they're
more
doing
upset
that
about
now.
missing Golden Week. Missing Golden Week.
I get they want to like condense these things and bring them back and just put everything together, but I I just don't get why they can't go from point A to point B instead of coming around later on and trying to put everything in after the fact. I just I don't get it.
No, and when they said, I don't know, I guess they could. I think JP has a campaign running all the time. So when they say that they're going to give us something in the future, first of all, I don't fucking believe you. Second, it's going to bump something else. So why? Why are you doing that? Okay, the seasons don't matter anymore. They gave us Christmas and Halloween together in what, March or something?
Yeah, in the middle,
Um,
like towards the end of May or towards the start of May, it was just
yeah, I wasn't
random
playing. It was
time.
like right before I came back. Um, but uh, I don't know, man.
But you made a good point earlier about people, you know, rallying against him. Octo fucked up big time. People didn't let it go. Everybody got compensated. Everybody got a free 5-star unit. Now, they made it a randomized thing. You had a choice between two units. You weren't sure which one you were going to get. But
Yeah,
because you did the banner, you got an extra 5-star unit on their mess up. Instead
dude.
of,
Honestly,
if nobody said anything, they would have just left it to only a couple people got compensation. They fought back. They won.
look, I haven't learned to code yet. But I know people think that everything is easy. Just have the programmers do this. Just have the programmers do that. I think it's a weird mix of easier and harder than what most people think. But like the fact that they made a item in your gift box that gave you a 50-50 chance at a unit, I'm like, oh, I don't think that just came out of their ass. Like, that's cool. I don't know if it was something they had planned too, but like, I don't think that's a simple thing to do. Possibly, I don't know. Maybe it's very easy, but
It's hard to say because that game's been going on for a while in JP, so it may have been something they did down the road and they thought
yeah,
quickly as, okay, let's bring this in because from what
that's
other people
much
have
more
told
likely.
me,
Yeah.
they've got like their step up banners, there's other things they do and then they bring in some other stuff later. So they thought quickly and they figured out a good solution to avoid people just burning down the village, which they did not want that. They did not want their new game having bad PR week one, and they caved and they gave compensation. And the compensation was good. Fucking
You know,
imagine that.
I think that's a great analogy right now. What I was pushing a little while ago about people just laying down is like you know the last 2 weeks everybody brought out their torches and pitchforks, and now you're just going home like oh Jeopardy's on, let's go home. Um, and now they know like these losers are never gonna burn down the village. It's absolutely fine. They're in the town square again. It's fine. Jeopardy comes on at 7:30 every night. They're fine.
Yeah, they just have to delay you out to the next event, essentially. That's all they got to do is get you to
I
the
think
next
that
event, and then it'll be okay.
they're fucking us over so hard right now. All of these guys that raged for 5 minutes and stopped. It's literally worse than if they never spoke up. Oh, I just get so angry thinking about it because I would love this game if I could get treated properly. I don't like playing a game that treats me like shit.
And it's sad because there's other companies out there that you would think wouldn't do a better job, and they do. Like you see some of these other phone games, Another Eden. They Square went in there. They looked at Another Eden. They modeled this Octopath game off of it. They were smart. They because this is a single player gotcha. They modeled this game off of. They took another
Okay.
IP that wasn't very strong. They looked at a lot of the systems and they replicated it. And they're making a lot of money off of it without the normal elements. Like there's no competition. I mean, sure, I could go on there and say, "Hey, I've got this party, and where are you at?" But there's no like PvP. There's no guilds. There's no competition, and they can pace the content at a slower setting because it's a single player game. And they're making hand over fist, and they gave them compensation. They gave them something back, and they're still making a lot of money off of it. So it's like whoever's running DQT has like some weird risk assessment management in terms of giving things out that the other divisions just don't have for whatever reason.
I don't like. I know that the metric of player like spending per player is fantastic in this game because there's I think you and I make up like 10% of the player base right now. Um, I'm exaggerating, and not nearly as much as I should be. Uh, but like, what do they have to lose? Like, why aren't they changing things? They've already destroyed the player base. Losing $100,000 a month is not a risk for Square. Gaining many times that, like gaining, I don't think at this point, I don't think people are too keen to join established games already. I think people prefer day ones. Not everyone, but like, I don't think we'll get like huge floods of new players
Well,
compared
yeah,
to a new
because
game.
it's if somebody's looking to make a name for themselves, or if somebody's looking to start off fresh or do a new experience, they're always going to look for that new game. You know, if it's Octopath or if it's something else, they get to
It's
go in and do that.
it, it'd be possible if this game was at all forgiving to new players. Yeah, you can get like, dude, you can have a PvP team in a month, depending on when you start. You start during an anniversary, or like, DQ9 came with meta units, so that helped. Like, you if you started when Fallen Angel Corvus and Sorrow were out, fantastic. Really glad I started CG13 when I did because, like I said, I got new players with like max, full awakenings on top tier units. Like, okay, yeah, we can teach them how to play. Um, but yeah, if you start right now, like, what you could get one Lucia, maybe you'll get the other with gems. I don't think they're as good as the things that are coming up. Um, by the way, like, I don't know why anybody's chasing Lucia. Lucia's whale only because you can't awaken her. Erdrick's coming in 2 months. Like, you can't awaken
I wouldn't throw
Lucia
shards
right
at her.
now.
That'd be a crazy game. I mean, yeah, if you want to awaken the Dark Lord version, sure, okay, I
Yeah,
could understand
yeah.
that. But I mean, it's just it's not a good thing to do. Although I have noticed when they do like that split banner, kind of like the brides, I feel
Mm.
like the chance to get the S units for free is higher for some reason. Because I pulled the free and Lucia today, like just off the tickets. And
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
I never pull. I mean, I think the last time I got an S banner unit from a ticket for tact was I think like Dark Lord,
Mm.
and that
Dude, I
was
got
what, a year and a half ago.
I got weak, and I even spent 20,000 tax points. And I know, like, that's the thing is like when you've played this game for a while, you know that four multis gives you no chance at anything good. You just pray that you get a couple of the A ranks. I think I got the cat to two awakening overall, which could be worse, but like it
The
seems like a
cat's
good
not
enough A
bad.
rank
I
on.
mean, he's got the
I
bang
wish I had
force.
more.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's not a bad unit. I mean, for me, Baramos is like my best unit, so having him is great. If you have Veronica, he's great, and there's also a couple other units that you could really supplement with him. So I mean, it's
But
not
I
bad.
really hate that, like, if you complain about like you should know better than to expect to get something, anything that you should be happy with, over four multis. Like, you're like, no, of course you're not going to get anything on multis. You have to be really, really lucky. Um,
What's any
like even
game these days? Like Octo. Octo is, their pay system is pretty rough. It's if you really want the banner units, you gotta drop $600. And there's people who would go in and they'll do like 410 pulls. They'll do the free gems. They won't get anything, and they'll be like, "This is fucking rigged." Well,
mm,
you could go do the step up, get a non-banner unit, get like a generic pool that'll serve you really well in the story, and you spend a lot less, or you just use free gems for it, and you're guaranteed to at least get one at the end. But
mm.
the
Well,
pity
here's
system
the,
is rough.
like I said, I've brought this up. I think I might have gone on about this last episode. I only have one other real gotcha to compare it to. I played My Hero Strongest for like, a week. Um, is that the problem with the summoning system in this is 4% rates aren't that bad among other gotcha. I'm used to 10, but like I said, Dokken's different, and they were 5% for the longest time. But for a couple of years rather. The problem is that there's no runner up. So when you see a rainbow ticket, dude, it's really funny to think. Like, you get so excited when you see a rainbow ticket. There's an 82% chance that you're not going to give a shit about that unit. Yes, new players can get a lot of use out of the general pool. Yes, I still need like a couple awakenings, but they're nothing that's going to make me nearly as happy as the spotlight unit. You only want the spotlight unit, and anything else is basically devastation.
Right,
So
I pulled
82% of the chance you get hyped up.
I pulled two WKs on Fallen Angel Corvus, and
Yeah.
not only is that worthless to me because it's just Awakening Plus, his Blossom is shit. So it's like I don't
Mm.
even have anything really to look forward to when he does get enhanced. So it's like a double fuck you to me.
Yeah. Now, meanwhile, if they kept like that 4% rate, and honestly, 0.7% for the featured is not bad. It's just they're kind of I don't know. Like I'm not gonna do math, and I'd only be able to compare it to Dokkan really, but like they don't give away a lot of stones or dragon gem or gems. I know people will be like, "Oh, we get like 10,000 a month." That's like three multis. That's not like a lot to me. And we both know that if you throw them around willy nilly, you can't. You can only summon every couple months here. And I know some people get lucky doing a multi or two on each banner, but it's you're far more than likely to get nothing doing that.
I mean,
Um,
realistically, the best time you strike gold is if you get the 10 free tickets they give you and you hit the banner unit. That's fucking great because then you have a chance to at least, if you wanted to get some extra awakenings, you're going to get pity at 45. So if it's a unit you really want, you get it in those free tickets. Awesome. If it's a unit you don't want, you don't get in the free tickets, and you start chasing it, and you put in like 12K, you've just pissed away 12K. You're not getting that back. You're going to feel bad later. And I've talked to people who are like, well, I don't get it. I want to quit this game. I put 9K into every banner and I don't get anything. I do the
yep.
paid pulls. Like, the paid pulls aren't as good as they used to be. I mean, they're
They did they have a different percent chance to pull the featured on fixed S slot on the paid. So they are still you still have the 1 in 4 chance, I think, on the guaranteed S on the paid only. But no, I mean that's a $25 gamble. So would you pay $100 for that unit? That's what it is. Although I would honestly, like, as addicted as we are to this game, I would rather just buy a copy of the unit for $100 than, you know, the 25 $25 1 in 4 chance. 'Cause you know
right.
how a 1 in 4 chance works.
Yeah. Usually you get fucked. That's usually what happens. So I don't know.
Yeah,
That's why I've shifted my money away. I put it into Octo because at least with Octo, because it's a new game, because I'm not established, even if I pull like some crappy units, I can still do some things with those 3 and 4 stars and build them up and work on
mm,
them.
yeah.
Whereas here, I'll get I'll get WK, I'll get King She Slime, I'll get all these. I've played so long that none of those units matter, and we still don't even have some of the newer S ranks in the basic pool that we should have had months ago. I still don't know why we don't. I don't know what happened there.
Why? What are you gonna do about it?
I mean, I could bitch about it, but I mean, apparently I have to make 2 videos to get a guy to be told that he was wrong and that they gave him his account back.
Sorry, I was just making like that. That's the thing is like, well,
Yeah,
who cares?
yeah,
You
no,
might they might mention it to Malcolm every once in a while, and I'm not. Look, how many times do we have to fucking say this? I know it's not Malcolm, but Malcolm saying I've delivered your feedback is not like, oh, okay, great, they've taken action. No, that's like he's telling you that he told somebody else. Okay, that doesn't mean a fucking thing. Um,
right. It's
yeah.
like okay, it's like the shop. The shop's going to be eventually added in. What's eventually? Is eventually 3 months from now? Is eventually next week? I mean, is eventually whenever they feel like it?
It's exactly when they planned. It's going to be the Mendini's nightmare. Um, that's the only thing. Trust me, they didn't change it. We they're not like, oh my god, we better do it now. They just translated it early, and this is exactly what they planned all along. They also wouldn't tell us right away. Dude, they play their cards so fucking tight to the chest. If they would just give us an answer, it would calm us down, or at least like, all right, that's what they're doing. It still sucks, but whatever. We know they don't do anything. Like, let Malcolm say something every once in a while. And his answer to that is, well, they let me say things during, live streams every 6 months sometimes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no, that's not enough. Like, dude, when everybody's out in the town square with their torches and pitchforks, like, give them something. But like I said, you guys have all proven that that's not necessary. Because nobody is. I mean, like Marco Court aside, Marco Court doesn't mean shit. What Malcolm goes back and tells Square is the basement dwelling virgins in Marco Court are bitching a little bit, but nobody's complaining on Facebook, nobody's complaining on Twitter, so it's really just the same dozen people that are bitching. So, 0.1% of our player base is upset, but they're still gambling addicts. So that is that's it in a nutshell.
And
And
as long
that's
as the
quite
sales
literal.
figures stay the same, why should they do anything?
And I know people get very upset when I make fun about basement dwelling virgins and whatnot. Um, but seriously, like that's what they think. Honest to God, that's what they think about us. I'm making a joke because I'm an asshole and I'm sarcastic and what do you call that? Deadpan. Um, that's what Square thinks of us. They think that we are all basement dwelling virgins um, that are literally addicted to their game. So please, like that's so bad. Like if you guys just shut up and go back to like, hey Malcolm, how's your day? Not that it's Malcolm's fault, but still, like he is our outlet. Um, we're fucked. They're gonna fuck us more. They're gonna go back to the sandpaper dick store and get a bigger one.
I just I just don't get how some people could go back to spending after what happened to JM. And you start to see some people coming around. It's like, well, this guy got locked out for almost 20 days. He dropped 10 G's on the game, and they basically blamed him for it, and he's probably not getting anything back for it. It's
Mm.
like,
No,
that's the, if they didn't have
and they're
examples like that,
gaslighting.
but at the same time, you had people who were like, "Oh, sucks you can't get in the game. If I couldn't play for 7 days, I'd just go somewhere else." Like, wouldn't you rather them treat you like a customer and a person than just cast you aside and you go somewhere else and get the same treatment again? It makes no sense to me.
We are second class citizens, and it's not it's a large divide.
Yeah, no shit. This wouldn't happen in JP.
um, oh hey, so you all right? So you want to go back to fanboying, or do you have more?
Oh no, I'm good. I mean, I like the idea of the new Jessica unit. I
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're starting to kind of run thin on ideas, so now they're just going to start dressing up some of their more popular characters, throwing them in bikinis like it's dead or alive, and making some money off of that.
Look, basement dwelling virgin is not a stretch for a good part of our player base, yourself and myself included. So
Jesus.
yeah, let's get some bikini clad Jessica. Um, the only thing, well, you know what? We need for any DOA fans in here, we need a boob bounce meter. What is it? What
Jiggle
do they call it?
mechanics or something. I'm
A
trying to think.
jiggly meter. Yeah.
Some weird shit.
Um. Anyway, dude, I think she looks awesome. Like, I know that I saw some people saying that she's an arena only unit. Well, of course she's like, I would say that she's designed for arena, but dude, she's got an elemental attack. She's got amazing range. She's got tension, which always has some place in PVE. Like, she's gonna kick ass, dude. Um, I think I'd rather have her than like the Sage. I'm sure she's not staying. I don't know. I don't know if I like her more than Erdrick. I think
Hmm.
Erdrick's gonna bring raw firepower. I'm a little upset that like Sorrow isn't like. Well, I mean he does unique stuff. I don't know. I really don't like that. Did I say Sorrow? Erdrick. I don't like that Erdrick doesn't have much for survivability because Sorrow really spoiled us. I think Indomitable Spirit is really really
Oh, it
strong.
comes in clutch.
Yeah. And the evasion. He's got evasion, stacking evasion, and Indomitable Spirit. That's so broken. And then Dark Robes instead of that, it's not even close. He's still going to be amazingly strong, but yeah, she's got multiple abilities with an often percent chance to charm. For those that don't remember, that's 60%. And it's still doing relevant damage. So
It's gonna fuck over
uh,
Diamond Slime at least, so that'll make people upset.
yeah. I mean, there's the answer to diamonds. I have not faced a diamond slime yet, but apparently they really don't take much damage. I saw one video the other day. It was like a 15-second clip. I don't remember the user. I think it was even a whale. Maybe it was Pack. I can't remember. Like somebody just using their whole team to take down one Diamond Slime just by itself. Um, so also, I got to imagine like for like arena watch guys, I think the difference between taking on a one awakened Diamond Slime and a five awaken is going to be a huge difference. So I can't even imagine. I'm sure as shit not going to touch a team with a
Oh,
five
it's a pain in
Diamond
the
Slime.
ass. I mean, I've gone in with Baramos. The thing literally just soaks up damage. I mean, the only saving grace is because he does selflessness, I can go in, hit him with the confusion, and I've got like 3 or 4 chances to confuse him and knock him out of the fight. But
And
that
then
doesn't kill him.
the third awakening on him is when he starts retaliating with adamant cannon.
That
Adamant
typeless
cannon, I
cannon,
believe
yeah.
is the.
Typeless cannon
So
can
I mean,
just
that's
beat
doing
you
what
up.
200 or 300 damage to you each time you hit him.
Yeah, if you don't CC him.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but dude, I mean, charm is strong. So, like I said, the fact that it's an often percent chance, you don't have to rely on it, but you're going to go up and you're going to do some major martial typeless damage, and then it can also still charm. Like most of the time, I doubt it's going to get a chance modifier, um, but it could. I'm wondering what the her weapon could actually come with a chance at it. I can't do Google Trans. Sorry, I'll look at it. Uh, sorry, you talk for a minute. You
Oh,
say something.
also, Pelion seems to be a decent Blossom. I mean, it's not hateful, but he gets an enhanced ability, Marquess. He gets like a 4-hit frizz type ability. So
Yeah, I believe it.
he did
I
get
believe
something good.
power is defense in JP and went in through Google Translate. So I think he already has an attack that lowers defense, but this is going to be much stronger.
It'll be kind of like it'll have a chance to do multiple defense downs instead of just one, or it'll
No,
defense down
actually, he
twice.
has mints, which is already low. No, that might. I think it's already. I'll look at it in a minute. I think he actually has the same ability and chances to lower defense, but it's going to be frizz type and it's going to be more. But he didn't get any more range. He didn't get, which his range is already good, but he didn't get any more range. He didn't really get any more survivability. He's going to get like 100 HP overall, a little bit more than 100,
Which is
which
nothing.
helps, sure, but like he's still going to go down in one hit to almost anything.
He's basically a striker. He's somebody you send in, you hope he kills the target, and after that, he's fucked. That's all
Yeah.
he is. He's a striker.
Okay, so I got Google Translate up on the image of the weapon. Yes, her weapon has, you can roll for it, heroic charm success rate plus 4%. So that's probably the rainbow ability. Uh, you could probably, gold would probably be 3%. You could have this thing rolling around, if you have a little bit of luck, you could have that like another 10% charm success rate for any hero ability, and it's 4% martial skill power base effect on the weapon. So they're calling it the Mermaid Sword in Google Translate, but dude, so she could with just a little bit of weapon alchemy and a little bit of luck, a 70% chance to charm an arena.
That's
I
gonna
mean,
fuck a lot of units.
yeah, that's fucking awesome. I don't know if I'll call it broken. I don't. I think she's got an okay agility. I can't remember what. I don't know what it is, but I don't think her agility is terrible. So you could still. Well, no, you can't put agility gear on her if you're going to put that weapon. But
Right, that weapon's
um,
gonna be pivotal to try and charm as many units as possible. But I mean,
yeah.
she could be a pain in the ass for GVG as well with another status ailment thrown into the mix.
Look, I know you. You and your guild play at a bit of a higher level than chasers, but I feel, especially in guild defense, um, chances work out better. Like it, I feel like a team that's got like a 25 or 30% chance to win through like maybe procs or status conditions is a lot more like it's not acceptable on offense. In defense, though, if you have things that can occasionally really screw up your opponent, that's awesome. at least
Well,
in my
like I'm
opinion.
running Malroth Blossomed. I've got Baramos in there, and I've got Damselfly in there
Mm.
for CC, and then I think I'm using like Red Hood for some quick offense just to run up and hit something and Bareel. So I mean,
Is
I've got
Baramos like your DQT security blanket?
yes, he works for everything. I mean, I beat Artea with him. I beat Artea. He had like a Max Awaken Mortagon, and Mortagon's weak to confusion, so he got fucked.
Mm. Somebody used Mortigan? Wow.
Yeah, well, he had a Max Awaken. That dude was buff. That was a
That's the
buff
kind of thing
unit.
that, like, you know what? You don't think about them like even Rapthorn. Like, Rapthorn probably isn't that tough. Then you realize that, like, you gotta hit him at least twice because the first attack's gonna be neutered. Um, so I think what's his name? Mortigan had the same thing, or the Zenlon one where he halves the first three. Um, but oh no, actually Rapthorn's really scary because yeah, he neuters the first shot. It's 100% off the first hit. So
Right, you don't do
both of
anything to him.
those in defense are really always trying to take out most of the team the first turn. So something like that just reads negate one attack. Well, I mean that's what it is, but like, um, you know,
You'd have to start with a
it's just
multi. You'd
one
have to
card.
bring in something like a Helion or Bareel or something that can just do a couple of multi hits and break through. But
And
there's
that's
no
only
guarantee
doing a
you're going
little
to
bit of
kill.
chip damage to him after.
Yeah, you're
So
not going to kill him.
yeah, um, but anyway, yeah. I'll tell you, man. The PvP landscape is going to change after the 2 year. That's for sure.
I'm gonna have to change up
I
my
think,
signature unit at some point from Baramos to something else because I mean he's gotten me a long way in the game, but it's eventually I'm gonna need a new gimmick.
yeah, dude, I really think that I think that Zenlon is going to change the era of like 100 people getting rank one in PvP every week. I think it's going to be really hard not to have him wipe out a couple of party members in just normal GVG. There's still going to be people that get past him every week, but um, I think you're going to have to be meticulous now. I think he's going to be worse than Sara was.
So what you're saying is people are gonna have to hide spending when they're going to max awaken this unit.
Dude, that is like I don't. Erdrick's third awakening is Dark Robes, so he has no defensive ability at the first awakening. Um, and then the fifth awakening is 100 HP, which very useful. And like I think he might get 5% physical, and he's going to get 5% on his main abilities. Uh, so it's still look it's still good.
And he's got stuff
But
on
like
his tree, but that's gonna take a lot of blossoming materials to even
yeah.
unlock.
But as far as like flashy awakenings, you're pretty much just getting more stats with Erdrick, which is yeah very useful. On Zenlon though, like the third awakening is it's extra breath damage over 50% HP, which he has talents that work towards that, and a healing move. And then the fifth one is Dragon Scale, dude. I think that unit with Dragon Scale is just going to be fucking scary.
So I
Like
think the
I'm,
only thing that makes Erdrick really stand out is the fact that they gave him like two firsts in the game. They gave him a separate, let's just call it Blossoming 2.0. They gave him a Blossoming 2.0, so he
hmm,
starts the game off with a Blossoming kit, and he starts off with an S rank skill as well. So they gave him a lot of stuff, and now they have to do these crazy things, which is why Zenlong is as strong as he is, because, I mean, he's basically, they have to do something better than Erdrick for the end of this event, and that was their answer.
hmm. Purvis makes Zenlon go bye bye. I'm seeing Aces. Isn't Aces a whale or something? Is he one of your guys?
He's an Arena Watch. He was originally Tuki's hostage, and then he got saved and brought over to the other guild.
I don't believe that. Like I know Purvis has a multi hit, but like I don't believe that he's going to. He's not. He can't one shot it. Like he'll do a lot of damage to it, sure, but like he's not gonna one shot the thing because he takes 50% off the first three hits. So he's gonna do like. Right, so I only have a one awaken, but he'll do like 300 or 400 a shot tops, and that's only for guys with max awakened, fully blossomed dudes. Yeah, so like a crit could help. So I mean, yeah, Purvis is probably the best answer against Zenlon, but um, you know, it's still gonna be he's still gonna be terrifying.
Well, it's gonna be a fucking
I think
nightmare.
your yeah I think your Purvis is only taking out Zenlon with luck, and then you're still if he doesn't crit, then you're still relying on multiple units to take out Zenlon, and you also have to make sure that your Purvis goes first in that scenario too.
Aces is like, I will spend enough money to make sure that happens. I believe in Aces.
Yeah, I just yeah, awakenings for me are definitely whales only. But like I said, Zenlon's the one thing that makes me wish like, oh man, that'd be cool. But like and the other thing is like, so say you got Gorvis Purvis, I hate his name. Purvis going first. I think Max awakened after the shield tops, he would be doing like 400 damage. But if you're talking about a Max awakened Zenlon as well, like going against a whale, he's got Dragon Scale, so he's going to heal 10% HP. You can get him to 2,000 HP with some HP equipment, so he's going to heal back 200 for each of those hits. So, this perfect answer Goresby, without crits, he's going to do like, you know, 12, 13, 1400 damage, but 600 of that's going to get peeled back. So, again, I don't think that he's breaking the. Well, I don't
He's,
know. I think he's going to be the strongest unit we've
I
seen.
mean, he's gonna basically be what True Lord Dragon Lord was when he got his Blossom at first, and he got the HP back, and he had the extra movement and the range. Because I mean, for a while, a lot of the encounters in game, a lot of the PVE content, he he kind of made it easy for people who had like a high awakened version of him because of that regen.
Oh yeah, I don't like taking on uh, true form in arena because like there's usually other things that I have to target down, and he literally like he says he's got like a perk that just says you can't bring dual magus to arena, which I usually like to. So because you cannot kill true form round one right now, I don't think, unless you literally focus them down or get lucky. Um, I know, like, if they group their whole party up like noobs, sure, you can blast down the whole thing with AoE, but if you can't hit that true form with AoE, there's probably, if you're taking on, like, Sorrow and Goresby and stuff like that, you got to focus on those guys, so true form's not the biggest threat, but you can't focus, like, you can't take them down round one very easily.
No, you need
Unless
a
you can confuse them, but
yeah. That's yeah. Well, I mean,
But
at that point,
then
you've
you've got to have
isolated
a
them.
unit with survivability, speed, and movement. So that's a rare mix.
And of course, how many people are going to keep them all lined up together for them to just even if you try and bait them, not everybody's going to keep everything clustered together. Some people are going to use like buff scrolls and other things to trick the AI and to kind of make things harder on people.
Yeah, like I try not to talk too much about my defense team, but like I keep opponents' AOE in mind. I don't keep my units grouped up together. Um, which, hey, I mean, if the opponent is grouped up, it lets it's not always beneficial. Like now your team is spread out; it's harder for them to necessarily help each other. But yeah, it's harder to focus fire. Um, but the opponent's always going to have the uh, advantage in arena, so you got to play to that.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they have the chance to build around your team. They'll go in, you know, they they can pick and choose. You're stuck with whatever you set up, and you just have to hope that you've either got enough triggers where status ailments come into play, or you have some other things like where Nightclubber's basically a roulette wheel. I mean, if you let him hit, he's got a chance to do some crits, and he could take down units no problem.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just see so much evasion in arena. It's not as bad now, but like Nightclubber is like great. He'd be so fantastic if physical wasn't in such a not exactly a bad spot, but you know, breath and magic have so much extra utility right now. And
Right, because there's like, I mean, how many units realistically have bounce that would be used for fights right now? Like,
Dude,
Zaro Green version doesn't get used much anymore. When's the last time anybody used him?
I think Manslayer was overrated right from the start. Like, because you remember the first, what, 3 months of this game, Magic was clearly broken because physical units weren't that strong. You know, the S ranks didn't have awakenings for most of us. They were all like two move, um, anything physical, other than Hellion, who was still weak, just not quite as bad relatively. Um, but and then, yeah, so spellcasters were where it was at. They dealt more damage. They had range. Um, you just put a like a tank in front of them. Um, but that shifted like right around the time Manslayer came out. So his bounce shield meant just almost nothing. I think it was something to worry about for like a month or two, but I feel like he didn't stay in arena very long at all because his damage wasn't that great. It was good, but it wasn't great.
Well, good old Delzor, which, well, he's kind of disappeared at this point. I don't know what happened to him. He was going on about how, the golden combo was Estark and Manslayer, and if you put them together, people couldn't do anything to them. And
I feel like Manslayer was completely out of the picture by the
yeah,
time we
that,
got to
that was
start.
like by the time,
That was only 2 months.
yeah, yeah, it just came and went. I mean, his event came, people got some use out of him, and even Exist is saying here, we've got Santa Elena, Slime Tank, and Mortimer are the main bounce units. That's three. That's three main bounce units. Like, how many evasion units do we have technically? I mean, there's Elena, there's Dolmagus, Fallen Angel, Corvus are the main ones, and then there's Sorrow as
The new
well.
A rank.
And there's even A ranks too.
Yeah. I think that the Maul might be really strong. I guess Hussar does a lot more damage. I haven't really paid too much attention because when I've used them, I've been following guides. I don't actually pay attention. But yeah. The I'm just going to call her Maul. Maul has 40% evasion, so that's pretty awesome.
And she's a free
When she,
unit, so that's a win.
yeah. Plus, in arena, I've got. Do you agree with me that like turn one bonuses are they're not the only thing that matter, but like they're like a second turn bonus isn't even half as valuable as a first turn, right?
I'd say they throw people off guard a lot more often. You
And I
lose
don't know how
you
to
lose
turtle to be
focus.
fair, so
You lose focus on it because there's been times where I've seen people online, they don't realize what's going on with those bonuses, and then turn two comes around and it completely changes the order of the fight, and then they get punched in the mouth and they lose.
that's true. Yeah, so it can catch you unaware. In GVG, I would say it's a lot more important. You can have it's almost like you get to bring more of the PVE element in there. Because in GVG, when you're facing like you don't get to pick the weak guy. You have to take on a good opponent. Um, losing a unit in GVG, at least for anything other than like the top 20 guilds, if you get a 150, that's a win. Like congratulations, you did awesome. If you took down a tough player, you know what I mean. I don't know if you agree with that. I don't know if it's 160s or nothing for
Uh, it,
Venus.
if it's, I mean, right now, a lot of the units we fight, because of how broken the matchmaking is, it's hard to get a 150. Like, even with
Oh
like
yeah,
Max Awakened Zaros and things. But when we were doing GVG before, it didn't really come down to where, let's say, 20 or 30 points made it a hell of a difference. I mean, as long as people got a solid win in, it was always way more appreciated than taking a 10 or taking like a 115. So, I mean, 150 was great because there wasn't many close matches. It was either you get decimated or you decimated them.
yeah. In PvP right now, the mindset is almost literally, unless a lot of people get unlucky. If you lose a unit in arena over the week, you're just done. You're just done that week. You can try to get more tokens, which don't mean anything anymore. Um, but yeah, in GVG, like, dude, I feel like Chasers has had to punch up a lot, especially in the final rounds. So I feel like we're often taking on. Look, we got a couple. We got. I don't think we have any like whales. We've got some dolphins. We usually take on teams with a lot more awakenings than us. So yeah, anybody that gets a 150, that's still like that's awesome. 140 is great. Like,
Well, yeah,
and
it's
obviously a 115 is better than a 10. So
right. I mean, if you have to sacrifice one or two units and you win the match, I'd rather you do that and win the match instead of get a 10, because not only does a 10 it's bad. I mean, it's the worst thing in the world that pissed me off is when we would be 15 minutes into a match, 15 minutes out of a 24-hour day, somebody went in and already got a 10. It's like, what the fuck? You had all
yeah,
day. You could have played like Pac. You could have spent 8 hours focusing on the match. Bringing out your abacus and all this other shit. You just go in and you lose instantly. That
yeah.
I hated that. But on the flip
I'll
side,
tell you, there's
when somebody went in and instantly 160'd some dude and obliterated them, I was cool with that as long as the opponent was like on their level. I mean, if they took out a strong opponent very quickly, that's great.
yeah.
That's a morale booster. That's awesome.
So I had like a moment looking over the CG13 matches where I was like, I think this guy could have taken on a stronger account. The we played an even lower rank level whatever team yesterday. I'm like, oh, there's barely any max level units in this guild. So okay, that probably is like one of the mid tier teams. I was a little bit yeah. Although like I said, we got a lot of new players, so I'm not like I'm trying not to judge CG13 too harshly, but I'll tell you, I'm sure you have the same mindset. There's nothing that pisses me off more than seeing people not give a shit. Like when you talked about going in there and getting the 10 like right off the bat, you might not care. Like the player might not care, but like you just fucked over up to 19 other players.
Potentially,
That
yeah.
makes me see red.
Yeah, yeah, no, because it's like not. I would rather you wait and do a match later and ask me for help or something, because I will get on. I mean, I'll let them do a video share on Discord. A couple of us will look over the match and
Yeah.
see what we can do. If we take a 10 there, you could say, well, Kage fucked up. You could blame me. I'll take the heat at that point. But taking the 10 instantly, that's like a hell of a morale booster for the other team. It's like, oh, wow, we might have a good chance to win this. As opposed to if they go in, they open up their screen, and they see that 10 of our guys have already gotten a bunch of 150s and 160s. We've mentally fucked them already. We've just upped our chances to win. And we've put
I've
all the
always wondered
pressure
how
on
that
them.
feels because like the Chinese players in the guilds that we take on, like I don't know, man. They must like have like 9 to 5s. Like they're on Americans, like or I always think global is American. Sorry, but like we got a lot of nerds that are just up all night. I mean, that was me for the longest time. EVG came out at 2 a.m. Half my guild would still be like, not half, but like, a lot of players would still be jumping right in. Chinese guilds, like, they won't have anything until the morning.
Well, see, here's the thing with people, and maybe it is just a USA or global exclusive, but if something happens at like 2 a.m. in the morning, like it doesn't matter what game it is, let's say it's Octo, because they do updates at like 2 a.m. in the morning. Motherfuckers will be on my Discord posting pictures about the new update 5 minutes after it dropped in the middle of the night, and then I'll get up at 7 a.m. in the morning, look on Discord like, what the fuck was Booski doing up at 2 a.m. in the morning? Like he's East Coast, but he was up for it. They don't care.
Addiction. Yeah, that's addiction. But it's fun in the community though. That's what I'll tell you, man. That's what I love about GVG is, it's funny because I always talk about arena utility, even though I hate arena, because I'm not like it takes. Dude, you have to care about every little action in arena. You gotta play like Pac Demon.
Well, it's like you
taking 20
said.
minutes a turn.
If I lose one
Um,
unit in the week,
you are done, literally.
I just don't care anymore. It's like, well, I'm just gonna blow through these matches. Doesn't matter. I've already lost a chance for a gold for the week, or it's like, what's the
You
point?
could,
Why?
yeah, you could,
Yeah.
you could keep spending 20 or 30 minutes a day on your matches to try to get 50 more tokens that don't mean anything right
Yeah.
now. There's nothing in the pipeline in JP right now. Our shop is exactly the same as JP's right now. Literally, 100% exactly the same.
And I just
So,
have nothing to really spend it on. I'm not gonna do Awakening Plus on Halberd Soares. I don't even feel like Max Awakening the Sanguini in there. I just left him at like the generic 0. I've got the tokens. I could up him. I
my,
just don't. I just don't care.
my, yeah, mine's at 4 awaken my genie. I am gonna max him Although I'll tell you, like, uh, what are we roughly 3 months behind JP? We gotta you try to keep these to 90 minutes, but we gotta talk about the crunch being over. But anyway, I mean, they gotta announce another arena unit sometime soon, or at least like something to give us some iris or crystals in the shop. I know they're not going to give us orbs, but like give us some rank 8 crystals that we can buy once a month or something in the arena shop. Like make it not worthless for if you've already max awakened the units, or even just I mean Genie Sanguini's worthless. So basically, I'm not going to buy Genie Sanguini's awakening, last awakening for a little while. I'd rather hold on to some tokens and
There's
the
no point. It's just
yeah.
there's no point, and they definitely need to do something with the arena shop. I don't know if it's adding more materials or even just you know what would make the arena shop probably more appealing is if they added in like more gold for it. If they added in like packs of gold every
Yes.
month that refresh, it would have more people want to do well in arena because gold is something everybody needs.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, if they made it so every token that I had mattered, like, okay, if I give up on arena after losing 10 points, I might make like 200 less tokens. 200 tokens is, even like 1,000 gold. Um, like, dude, I want, or like maybe like 2,000 gold. I would give a shit about that. Like, okay, I'm still gonna keep trying to get my gold, for the month, for the week. Like I said, put some iris in there, some crystals, just something that refreshes every month that makes you give a shit about getting. Because, dude, I'll tell you, like what are the special rounds they give us with the orb is the prize. Um, Even just getting some crystals and gold, like what is it, like every other guild, like arena
Every
rank
other
up or
like
whatever.
rank, that was the best. I love when they do
It feels so
those.
good. It's like there was a point for me doing my matches today other than 30 gems and 800 gold. That's what I do my matches for. Uh, so, yeah, I mean, that's why I went. And that's also not like, dude, if I'm not feeling like playing, my excitement is bare minimum right now for the most part. Um, I don't even bother doing my arena matches most of the time. I tanked this week right away because I didn't get the bots on day one and I didn't feel like trying. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna auto 40s right away.
And
Which
it doesn't help that since we've been talking, I've been doing some like battle roads just to see how things are going. My game's zeroed out at least 3 times. I'm on an iPhone 13, and ever since the Rank 8 update, the unexpected errors for whatever reasons have been more rampant. And I don't auto click. Everybody knows I play the old school way, so every time this just like gets shut down, it'll get shut down in the middle of the night for me. I've just completely
okay.
lost like a 60 rotation.
Oh yeah, like I will I have gone to bed with let's call it my friend that will automatically tap my screen for me because I'm still not going to admit to anything on air.
Sure, they'd crucify you.
Like it matters, yeah, no, it doesn't work anymore. At some point, I always wake up to find out that it has been turned off, and my friend is not smart enough to do anything about it. He just sits there and taps at one spot. Um, But yeah, and it usually doesn't feel like it's a couple hours in or anything. Like it'll be like right after I fell asleep, it stopped. I am able to keep it going, for like just the 60. I rarely have problems with that. So it's probably more my phone than anything else. But I do know that like if I minimize DQT and I open up like one other app or page or something like that, more often than not, I'm going back to the title screen, which is just you know how annoying that is, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, you can't. For whatever reason with this game, if you open up your camera to take a picture while it's in the background, it'll send you to the title screen. I don't know why, with the camera on an iPhone, it does that, but it does that for some weird reason.
I don't know what it is. Like it's not always. Sometimes I can open up like a couple other pages and then go back. But yeah, for the most part, if I minimize EQT and open up anything, when I go back, it's the title
I
screen.
just can't take a
Which
picture. I could look at websites. I can go on YouTube. I could play Octo.
okay,
I could play other games. But if I want
it's
to take
probably the
like a
phone
picture
then.
of my cat, it kicks me out of the game.
Okay, see, yeah, for me, if I just scroll between other apps, more often than not, I'm going back to the title screen. So it's probably my phone then.
Yeah, because
I do have an
mine's.
LG, so
Oh, well, they stopped making those brands a while ago, right? I don't think they make LGs anymore.
I think they are still making. I think I still saw some. I don't know.
I'd have to
Dude, trust
look.
me, I would love to have a Samsung, but fuck iPhones. Sorry, I'm not gonna learn how to use one. But yeah, dude, I would rather have like a $200 or $300 phone than pay like $1,000 for a Samsung. Ugh. By the way, you can get some good phones for like $200. The Moto series, they're actually pretty damn good. They're not quite as flashy, but
They're more. I would say motos are more durable. Like you could drop a lot of the motos, and because of the
uh,
glass they use on them, they're not going to break. You don't need tempered on some of their
dude,
brands, so they're good.
the glass backs. Oh my god, I love the glass backs on phone because they are literally there only to break. Any other function?
And they're not cheap to replace either. Like $300.
No, and that's the thing. And so anybody that has like, I feel like the new thing is trading in. You know, like what, like more 5 years ago or more. You know, the cell phone game was different, but like you didn't trade in shit. You know, now every bonus on a new phone is like, yeah, we'll give you like up to $800 with a trade in, and my phone's worth nothing. So, um, but yeah, no, that's why they put the glass backs on the iPhone. You have to fix it before you trade it in. So they make so much money off of doing worthless repairs to these.
I just buy my phone outright. I keep it until it dies, and then I get another one, so I don't deal with any lease agreements or any of that shit. I used to work for the telecommunication industry. One of their gimmicks was they would keep people on some of these leases on older phones, and they would give them the option to buy out. And if they didn't take that option, they'd be renting the phone every month and not paying towards it. It's
Oh,
fucking
okay, yeah.
awful.
Oh, but dude, I love. Maybe you've seen it in YouTube ads. The ad of like, "Don't worry, it's iPhone," with the iPhone that's about to vibrate itself off the table. I have seen so many people bust their iPhone dropping it on the table, like when they're eating, and it falls out of their hand in their glass. Dude, you remember how? I'm sure. Did you say that you worked with phones like
Yeah.
the OG Gorilla Glass? You could almost take a hammer to it.
Uh,
Maybe literally. I'm
some of
not
them
sure.
you could. Like,
Yeah.
there's some of the Motorola's had Gorilla Glass. We literally had one of our managers just take the phone, go outside to the pavement, throw it onto the pavement, and the glass didn't
Yeah.
crack.
My phone, like I said, I have an LG. It was like I got T-Mobile right now. I bought it. I got this model because it's the LG Velvet. It was $600 retail, buy one get one free. Okay, cool. And it does, dude. It's fine. It does everything well. It's just not as cool as the Samsung. Trust me, I'd kill for a Samsung. Um, but I drop this thing constantly, all the time, dude. Everybody I know with iPhones breaks them
Yeah,
constantly.
you need a good case. If you
Yeah.
use an iPhone, UAG cases are really good. They're expensive. They're like $50, but you could drop like an iPhone off of a fucking motorcycle going 80 miles an hour if you have like
Dude,
a Monarch case. They're
I've got an
hardcore.
$8. I've got an $8 case on this. The screen is like it doesn't go over the screen. Like if I drop it, it's like it's the screen is taking the full impact. It's got a little bit of a curve on it. Um, yeah, no, this thing is durable, man. I drop it a lot.
Case I got
Like
isn't durable. It's
asphalt,
it's more
concrete.
for it's more for convenience because it's got the wireless charging on the back. I can just put it onto one of those pads and it'll instantly wireless charge with the case on, which is nice.
Oh yeah, I like it. See, I actually prefer having the magnet on the back. I like being able to just put it on the mount in the car or the truck. Um,
See,
oh.
I can't do
Anyway,
that because then you got to take it off of if you want to do wireless charging, then you got to take it off of the case to put it on there, and that's when
exactly.
motherfuckers break their phones. That's when this phone will get fucking broken. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's why I would rather. I'm just old fashioned. I'll just plug the cord in. Um,
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the direction this game is heading. We'll find out if JM gets any sort of compensation. I'll probably do a follow up video at some point. I was going to do one last night, but I went to a show, had too many drinks, and that was not going to be a good idea.
so, dude, I know you want to wrap up, but like, I think everybody must have noticed by now the fact that we didn't get part two on Thursday. The crunch is over or paused. I
I
was
don't
trying
know
to,
anymore. I don't know. I mean, is it?
yeah. And Malcolm, I don't know if Malcolm plays dumb or if it's a. I never like to make fun of anybody for like English as their second language. His English is very good, obviously, but like, I don't know if it's a like a lost in translation thing. But I keep telling Malcolm like can you please tell Square to like let you tell us the plan is? Like, well, we don't like to talk about future events. I'm like, no, dude, like the crunch, like, is it over? Is this a pause?
Well, you
Like,
got to remember at one point he said that that wasn't even a thing. Like at one point I'm assuming he just didn't know
yeah,
that
because it was
it
a
was a
lot
thing.
slighter before. Um, but like, I mean, we were like gradually catching up. Like, for the longest time, it's like we're only 5 months behind. But also, holidays fuck that up. So I was actually on the side of like, I didn't think we were catching up at first because we had the holidays like coming up. So I don't even know if we were technically ahead back then because they fucked up the calendar so much.
Well,
Um,
they played around with the schedule. I still don't understand to this day. I don't get the Dread Dragon thing. I still don't get that at all. I don't get why they moved him around and why he got a completely
I don't know.
different drop time. It
I don't
still
know why that
confuses
unit
me.
wasn't in the general pool from launch. That
It
was
makes no
clearly a
sense.
general pool unit. Like even day one, that unit was bad.
I
Other
mean,
than the fact that he had
they knew
his
it wasn't a good unit because they held it back. Like it was supposed to be, I think, like the second or third banner in the game after KM, and he just like disappeared, and then they threw him out there one day. It was like, what were they testing things? Were they seeing what they could change on global, what they could play with and get away with?
uh, I don't know. Like I said, that's why I just think that they must just hate global because I can't wrap my head around anything. It's not greed because it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like it. Like what is there to lose? Whoever here is so. We have so many kicked, abused like housewives here. They're not leaving you. Like try something. Try to get some players back. But yeah, I feel like new players are never going to stick around in better until they make it so like not punishing to have missed the last year and a half. It's like, oh, you mean like I'll never be able to rank up like half of my S ranks because I wasn't here for a year and a half? You mean you guys don't have enough orbs either? Then I'm absolutely fucked. Because yes, you can get a lot of the orbs that we used to get in Reminiscence, but not all of them. And we
Well,
did.
plus you're
We have had a
playing a game of catch up at that point because now
yeah.
you've got to go back, do all the reminiscence, and at the same time work on the new events. I mean, you have to like spend some real money doing some real refreshes and taking away from your polls to even try and juggle all that. I don't want to be
Well,
a
and
new
that's
fucking
only.
player.
I don't know whether to say most or some because we've gotten as far as orbs are concerned, some of them have been gifts. Um, limited time things that aren't coming back to Reminiscence, just gifts, campaigns, things like that. So those aren't coming to
And not to
Reminiscence.
mention when they do these like anniversary things, some new player is going to get way more S ranks than any of us used to have. I mean, back in the day, what was there like maybe 15 S ranks total? And you only
Hmm.
needed one orb for each, and then you go ahead and you drop, even if let's say they did the 50 up scout, well, you just gave them like 8 new S ranks on top of what they already have. They're not going to be able to rank all these things up to get past the threshold to get into S8. There's no
No,
way.
and now they love these all out battle type things now. It's like great. You've got to be playing for what 4, 5, 6 months before you've got a chance at that.
For
Unless you
the
have a
EX anyway, I mean,
yeah.
maybe they could get by on. It's hard to say
Well,
because there's some
because it's about
fights.
having. Yeah, it's about how many max S ranks you have, and they have to be the right ones. You and I take it for granted, like, oh well, if you have like a dozen S ranks to S8, you can do this all out battle because you can bring A's and stuff. It's like, yeah, but that's like have to have those units, and they have to have them ranked, and that's
Oh, I
still
had a
quite a lot.
good fun of it because one of the fights, I mean, I was literally able to just use Green Dragon for like the normal and hard mode solo. And then I'm thinking to myself, how many people have a Max Awakened Blossom Green Dragon? Like, what if you missed out on farming him, and you can go back and get him now, but who's gonna go back and farm Green Dragon to do a fight while everything else is going on?
Yeah. Um, I literally have not touched the Rapthorn all out battle because I've basically just been maintaining my campaign because that came out when we found out we were getting fucked on the campaigns. So, I just, dude, I enjoy playing with all of my people in the Discord. Um, I love participating in my Discord and being part of the Chasers and now CG13 and stuff, but I hate Square. Like, I'm tired of playing their game.
And
So,
it's just
I
this
don't know.
game for whatever reason. It's, other games. Echoes of Mana has like a community Discord. I don't know too much about them.
Hmm.
I don't hear too much at
I
all.
think
I'm assuming they're
I think they
doing
have a
good.
smaller player base than us. Yeah.
It's just like they try other things with other games, and then over here it's, well, I don't know. Maybe it's aiming. Maybe aiming just really doesn't give a fuck. Because the only game I've ever played with them is Caravan Stories, and I don't remember anything good or bad about the game. I may go back now and look at the game to see, just because I'm curious if this is more Square or if this is aiming that's really fucking us over. Because you can't go to Square and ask them, because Square's just going to point the finger at aiming, and aiming's probably just going to point the finger at Square. So you gotta like do your own homework at this point. Look
Well,
what they
the
did to
fact that
JM.
the fact that our CM is Square Enix Malcolm makes me think that Square is involved. But like yeah, aiming is obviously to blame for a lot of it. I believe, but like I know, like that's a shit comparison. But I always say when you get the wrong meal at McDonald's, you don't go back and complain to Jim. You complain to McDonald's in general, their customer service, the manager, whatever. If aiming is doing this poorly, it's still Square Enix's fault.
They got to know what's going on at this point. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like,
but I don't think that they would. I guess it's possible that like Malcolm could be an aiming employee, or I mean, I know there are some people arguing out there that like Square Enix is probably just not able to affect what aiming is doing, but that makes no sense. Why would aiming piss off their employer? That's like, hey, aiming, stop pissing on our player base. And they're like, fuck you. You can't stop us. We're going to piss all over global DQT. Um, that doesn't make any
no,
sense to me
instead,
because
what
that's
makes
what
sense
some
to me
people
is
think is
aiming
going on.
goes to them and they say, well, if we do this, this, and this, we can get this amount of revenue. We don't have to put in as much effort with them, and this is our path. And Square's probably like, okay, well, as long as nobody really rocks the boat, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job, and that's it.
I just, yeah, I don't think there's any chance of them losing revenue on this game by trying something different. Um, like, they're not going to lose players other than like them just being pissed off eventually because I mean, like, they're I will say losing, not lost. They're losing you and I. We're not spenders anymore.
No, I
You
mean, I'll
were
do the $5 thing, but I switched all my money over to another game. I was like, oh,
Oh no, that's the passport's fucking ransom. Yeah, I just like when I cancel the
yeah,
passport,
you,
I'm
you need
done.
the passport. You just
Uh,
you need it.
it's 100. What is it, 120,000 gold for $5? Like,
Plus the
and
speed
I
up.
never have
I
enough
mean,
gold.
I do it more for the speed up. I mean, I have extra gold, but if I'm
Yeah,
gonna run like events and stuff, I want to get them done as quickly as possible. The speed up's
yeah,
what's holding me ransom. Let's be honest. That's where they have me.
yeah. That dude, that's why I was so happy when the I don't want to say the player's name. I know that you know him. I well, when his I didn't seek him out, by the way. Your guildmate that gave me the account. Um, he just like PM'd me and he's like, "Hey, I'm done playing. Do you want my account?" I'm like, kind of excited playing a new account, and then I thought about the thousands of hours of battle roads, and I don't know if thousands is an exaggeration. I'm not trying to
Um,
exaggerate.
I
A
don't.
thousand plus?
I mean,
That
back when I
literally
first played
hundreds
this game,
easily.
I would be I would be out hiking with my wife and I'd be hitting the rematch button on battle roads. I'd be doing like as many rematches as
Would,
possible. I'd
would,
have the game with me like 12 hours a fucking day. So for months. So you're not off. It was a
yeah.
personal hell.
Like I know oh my god, that's I'm not trying to make fun of you, but that seems so sad to me to have your
Yeah.
phone in your hand
Yeah.
all day.
I'm
You
a
should have
gaming
just had a
addict. I'm
friend that
not
stood next
just
to your phone like I
Nope,
did.
nope, I refuse. I'm an auto clicker.
You
You
did
know,
have more invested into your account, but like I don't think there's any way for Square to detect a friend
I
going
know, I
forward.
know. There's no way to do it, but I am very fucking stubborn in my ways, and I will go that way. It's like the bar in DDR. I will never use the fucking bar in DDR. It'll never happen. You'll never catch me do it. I will use just the pad and my balance and hope for the best.
Oh my god, I was always too fat not to be a bar raper. I used to be able to do like I played on heavy. Like, dude, I couldn't do like the hard songs, but like I could do bag if I put it on 5x. Um, but dude, I'll tell you, like, and I'm sure you had this too. Like, you do a couple of tough songs, or maybe some like I don't know, like 9 footers. There's a lot of range there. Um, and it kicks your butt. You get it done, but you're like dying afterwards. And then some 12-year-old goes on and does like max 300, and they're just fucking fine. It's like, oh god, I I remember having infinite energy as a child, and they weigh 40 pounds. So, oh, it's just so sad to watch them like
It does
destroy
make
you.
me feel better though, as like a 38-year-old man, when I could go on there and I could not use the bar and do the songs, and then some kid has to come up and use the bar who's half my age. That makes me feel better. I may
Do you
die
feel
afterwards, but it makes me
is
feel
it
better.
easier not to use the bar on what is it? Pump it up. I've never played the game with the diagonals.
Um, I've
I
seen
feel
people
like
use the
that back
bar.
the
It's
back arrow on DDR makes it like in my head it feels like it makes more sense to grab the bar. It's not as natural a movement. Is the diagonals a more natural
it
movement?
it can be, but at the same time, like when you're doing doubles, I'll have to run around like the entire thing like I'm fucking Sebastian the Crab. Like it
Yeah,
just sometimes there'll be some really awkward movements I'll do just to hit an arrow, which if my brain processed it correctly, it was most likely meant to be like a spin move, but it just doesn't fucking happen, and I'm trying not to
yes,
miss.
yes.
So it can be very awkward, and then they do things where they'll just stack as many double jumps as possible. So you'll be double jumping from the right side slowly over to the left of the field, and then afterwards I'm gasping for air because I did like 15 fucking double jumps in a row. It's like
I
help.
haven't played DDR in like a decade. I don't even. I was just thinking about how like you have to learn the patterns. Well, to be fair, the songs are what like 90 seconds usually.
These
Um,
songs, I want to say they're
they
about
go
3 minutes.
longer now.
The
Oh,
ones in
okay.
Pump It Up can be about 3 minutes long. They can be
I know
like
some of them go
600 steps.
longer. Yeah.
It's bad.
Um,
It takes a lot out of you. But yeah, you recognize patterns. I mean, if you
I'm just
you,
I'm
you
just
can
wondering
see it.
if my old man brain is as good at it. There's a lot of things that I took for granted when I was younger. Well, with like brain power.
Like I'll see a pattern, and then that pattern will replicate itself. And if I get the pattern right, I don't take any errors. If I get the pattern wrong, it's like I'm now grasping to try and stay afloat and not fail the fucking song. And it's just it's a shit show. But it took
Uh,
me a while to learn because it's different. It's not just one pad, and sometimes it's a I've got 1 foot on the left pad, 1 foot on the right, and then I have to do like a spin maneuver or some bullshit, and it's just it's weird. It's very it's not it's not easy to do, and the fact that some of these people can do it with a fucking bar, it's impressive because there's a
hmm.
lot of maneuverability. So you got somebody like hugging both rails and their feet are all over the place, and then my fat ass is just trying to lose some weight, so I'm moving around as best I can.
That's the thing, dude. I am too fat for DDR right now, so I'm finally back on my keto diet, which had some success for me in the past, but just like wasn't very fast. I think I was eating too much crap. But anyway, I don't want to go too much on about that. But like, yeah, I think like when I am ready to actually work out, like I would love to play DDR again because that's I
It's
don't
still
think I'll
around. I
ever
mean,
be able to jog.
it's definitely at the arcade I'm at. They've got so many new dance games now. It's crazy. They've got ones without any sort of foot pads. They've got ones that follow your actual movements. But
Oh
I
no, that's terrible.
yeah, yeah.
Because that's where those are the ones that want you to actually like pose, right? Oh,
Yes. Yes, and those people
oof,
look
no,
sillier than I do.
yeah.
But I can't I don't
Yeah.
think I could go back to DDR because I added in the extra pad. I've tried playing before,
Mm.
and as you know, I've set like a certain speed setting So I do like I think like 320 AV for everything. So I'd have to go in, figure out the equivalent of that setting for DDR, and get it. It's a pain in the ass, so I can't go
Oh, okay.
back to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they DDR like stopped being like the main game like what 10 years ago. So
Yeah, it tapered off. I mean, it's still
yeah. So I
around.
guess
It's
some of their
there,
controls are probably a little dated because
and
I
good
feel
luck
like all
getting
I
a
see is
card.
pump it up machines. Uh, and again, I don't think arcades are half as fun as they used to. Where are the beat 'em ups? You know?
So round one arcades are pretty good. That's something new that's entered the country,
Yeah.
and that's basically a Japanese company, and they've started throwing them around. But like Dave and Buster's, they try and compete, but they just don't have half the games round one
Yeah.
have.
They've got a couple of shooting games which are I mean point and shoot doesn't seem to be the obviously they're point and shoot, but like they're very basic. It feels like um, you couple of racing games. Most of it's just like baby games and tickets, and literally they'll have at least a dozen games throughout that are on my phone. You know,
I
cut the
think
rope
the
and
last arcade game I got legitimately excited about and I saw was that new House of the Dead one. That was cool for me because I haven't played a new House of the Dead game in like 10
okay.
years. So that was awesome. They did a new one. But other than that, it's like everything else was just kind of eh. They had a Tomb Raider shoot game. I didn't really care for that. They've had some other arcade games. They did have like a beat 'em up with trying to see if I have one of these here. I actually do. They had like a
I'll tell.
card system game.
Yeah, Pac Demon. It's Dave and Buster's is adult Chuck E. Cheese. Oh yeah, I've seen those things. Yeah, they I did have a little fun. The closest thing to a beat 'em up right now is Minecraft Dungeons. It was not terrible, but I don't give a fuck about Minecraft. I kind of hate it.
I don't think I've ever
Like
played Minecraft.
my kids' sisters are huge in it. They love watching YouTubers play it. Can you imagine just watching somebody play Minecraft?
Could
It's
you imagine
almost as
that
boring as
person
watching
making a
somebody play
living off of
DQT.
children watching you play Minecraft?
Oh my god, because they have a bajillion viewers, and that's almost not an exaggeration.
No, I mean they make thousands upon
my
thousands of dollars.
my teen sister wanted Dream merchandise. Dream is
Oh, I've
a
heard of that
Minecraft.
guy. He like
Yeah.
cheated in the game, did a speed run. There was a whole controversy, and then people forgot about it.
Yeah, she wanted his merchandise for her birthday. She was wearing some stupid looking hat with just a little dream, and there's nothing on like it's just like a little smiley face or something. I'm like, oh my god, it's so crazy. Anyway, Chase Games merch available in the description
Yeah, there you
on
go.
Kage's channel.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
It's yeah, no, no, just don't
We'll
get
have like one of those sad courtroom dolls that got molested.
it. Used.
Yeah, slightly.
Ugh.
So, I mean, I
Uh,
think we covered pretty much everything. We'll see what happens with JM next week. If he gets anything, if he gets more blamed customer service responses about how it's his fault he fucked up his own game. That's a great
yeah,
way to
like,
tell your 10K spender. Like, oh, you fucked yourself.
and I mean, there's no reason for them to put that in there. Like, why put the blame? Like, why try to make them feel bad?
Because they don't
Because
want to
it's a
compensate him.
lie.
That's what it is.
It,
They don't want to compensate this man.
I mean, it's like there's a 99% chance that it is a lie. It's so far fetched that he deleted his own account. There's not a delete account button, like Pax said before. And I think he was making fun like when Lawliet made a tutorial video. Everybody was afraid that they could lose their account during the transfer. You have to unback up your account and then delete your play data, and you don't do anything with your account registration. Like you don't need to unregister when transferring. So, uh, like if you're backed up, you can go ahead and hit the delete play data right now. You just have to log back
They
in.
even give you rewards to back up your data. They want you to back
Yeah.
up your data in this game, so it makes
So
absolutely
they
no sense.
so I feel like they intentionally lied because first of all they're bad at customer service, and second so that they can be like, oh no, you're just lucky that we helped you.
Yeah,
We're not giving you anything.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
You have
Because
the
dude,
honor of
a
being
player like
helped.
that, dude, he missed he missed some time masquerading farming. Not as huge of a deal for a whale, but like um you know uh
Wasn't that 2X event done for the masquerade?
It lasted for 8 days.
So it's gone.
So I don't. Was that? No, that was like right when it started for him, right?
Yeah, I don't think he was. I think he was locked out for most of that. And
He
then the
didn't
other
get the Farm
thing
Masquerader.
is
Like it for a whale, he lost money and in-game stuff. Like unless he's going to start doing 15 refreshes when normally he only does like 8 or something like that. Um, a whale is now going to be pissed off that he can't farm everything potentially. Um,
and
just
he's
aside
probably got
from
a
all the
bunch of
golden
frigs sitting in
gems.
his inbox too, and even maps and other things that he didn't get to use because he
Oh
was
yeah,
yeah he was just like negated from the back end of the event. And if he was saving some things, he was
yeah.
screwed
So
because
hopefully he didn't. But like, there's some question as to whether the fig shop comes back. I don't know. Like, if the fig shop comes back. By the way, do you know that like reminiscence goes down to 1/3 with the 2 year, 1/3 stamina?
I heard that. I heard that they're going to do
Yeah,
that, and I was like, okay,
not a
that's not
campaign,
bad.
it's permanent. Yeah,
That's
so
good because they need to do that because people
so
can't catch up.
assuming the fig shop comes back to reminiscence eventually, I think it's fair to say shards are always going to have more value in the future. So I think it was actually a mistake to farm shards, farm figs right now. But I mean, there is the potential that like figs don't come back. They are tied with temporary stamina juices, so it does kind of lend towards them not coming back.
It's
But
like Dragon Tower. Dragon Tower isn't coming with reminiscence apparently, which I don't understand that at all.
the pyramid didn't, but pyramid was daily. So was there anything at the top of Dragon Tower? Was it just 50 gems
It
each
was just a
time?
bunch of. I mean, let's say you never did Dragon Tower before. That was what
I
50 stages, and that's a
I
lot of
played and I
gems.
didn't. I probably went to like 30 and said fuck this because it wasn't remotely worth the effort. On JP, I think it was like a race, like the first 100 players got something good. We will never ever get something like that. So
I mean, that's like 4,000 gems from that tower for a new player. That's like that's a solid amount of gems to be missed out on. It's like I don't get. I'm assuming it was cut from JP as well, so at least they gave it the same treatment. But it's like, why cut that out for new players? Why cut out additional content and additional things to keep them engaged? I don't understand that.
and the thing with JM is like if they threw him 50 stamina herbs, that wouldn't be remotely anywhere close to enough compensation. But I bet he'd have been happy with it. I bet he would have thanked him. Like, oh my god, you guys, you're a real class act. Thanks, Square. And everybody in the Discord would have been like, oh my god, Malcolm, can I send you a blowjob in the mail? That's just fucking amazing what you guys did for my buddy JM. It was so kind of you guys. Thank you. Thank you so
Fuck.
much.
I mean, you really can't put a price tag on what he's owed. It's very hard. I mean, it's definitely thousands upon thousands of gems and other things. It's just to be honest, they'd probably have to give him some sort of special compensation, and
Yeah.
I would give him an S rank meeting ticket just for all his problems. I would just give him a free pass at some point in time that he gets to use this and he saves a little bit of money. And you know, some people would probably say that's excessive, but here you go, because we can't really
Was
put a
that,
price tag on this other stuff.
I firmly believe that everybody would be satisfied with an extremely subpar compensation. Like, they don't have to give him much. Like, 10,000 gold and 50 stam herbs would be like, everybody would literally talk about how amazing they are.
But then you realize how much he actually missed, and it's like, well, that's not
No,
really
but,
a good.
oh no,
Yeah.
like, of course he'll realize that, but like, our expectations are so low. We are the equivalent of the beaten housewife on Cops that says, "Don't take him, I love him." Like it doesn't matter how much they abuse
He'll
us. Like
change. It'll
we
be
we
okay.
will think that Square cares about us. They give us like right now with the crunch. Like we missed about 3 months of time. I made my list video. If they gave us 10% of that gave us 10% of almost any of that list, like one, two, three items on there, like gold and gems. If they gave us 10% of that, we would be bending over backwards to thank them. Like, oh my god, that's amazing.
They'd be
They
like, "Oh my
care, they
God, you
did this
guys
for
gave
us.
us something back." I'd be fucking surprised.
Yeah. Um. Oh, sorry, they gave us 10 herbs. Um.
Yeah, that's not really. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
I can't remember if we talked about that last week, but that's a suck my dick compensation.
They just don't
It's
like giving us shit. I don't know
it just
why, but
made
they
us
don't.
just like if I could give it back, I would. Like fuck you.
I mean, I'll
Want to
take it.
send?
I'll use them at some point, but it's just like, that's. Eh.
Eh, no.
At least Octo gives
But
better compensation. Thank you, Octo. Thank you, people who run that game. Thank you for not spitting on me.
like I said, I know it's a different game and a different IP, but like Dokkan
Same
has made
company.
$3.5 billion dollars over the last 7 years, and they are extremely generous to their player base. So Square needs to. They're shooting themselves in the foot constantly with this idea that everything they give us is just something that we would have bought otherwise. It's so not true. And even with whales, like whales spend more. First of all, when there's a larger player base, whales care more. They want to have that big dick in front of all the little guys. Um, so like nobody wants to whale in a game that like 100 people play. I mean,
No, there's no
we've got
recognition. There's no point.
there's maybe 7,000 players in Arena this week because I know you weren't at the very bottom.
No,
Um,
I was
but
pretty close.
anybody lower than you doesn't give a shit. Like, there's a couple of like log in 2 or 3 times a week players, which I can't comprehend in this game. But um, yeah, no, the our player base is under 10,000. I would say well under 10,000, but there's like I said, there's probably 1,000 or 2 people that log in a couple times a week. Um, but yeah, they've just got nothing to lose by changing things up and doing a 180 for global. Um, honestly, like people have accused me of trying to kill the game. I don't know if you know anybody like that, Kage. Um, but literally, like the only video idea I could have for DQT right now is like how they fuck every. Like I'm like my videos don't get that many views, but like I really feel that if I put a couple of like why this game sucks videos out, it's all such concrete evidence. Like nobody would, anybody that came across the video wouldn't download the game. So I don't want to kill the game. Um, but also I don't want it to keep going the way it is. So I don't know.
Well, I said this in one of the videos, and it's like, you know what? It's up to them to ultimately determine the longevity of this game. And if they're not going to treat us like people, at the end of the day, is that really a game you want to keep playing? It's
I want to
it's
be a
it's
cuck.
tough. It's
Yeah, I don't want to be a cuck. Okay, right now it's literally because I have fun playing with my guild. TVG is the best thing they've done for DQT, coming from a guy that hates Arena. So
I'm glad they fucking listened to somebody somewhere, because I was asking for fucking guilds a long fucking time ago, and somebody in JP must have had some fucking clout.
oh yeah, dude, global feedback does nothing. They don't change. They would
God,
have to change the JP version. They're not going to add things in JP based on the global audience.
no, no. So
There's no way.
somebody in JP came up with that, and they went with it, and I was like, great, thank you.
Yeah. Um, I don't know.
So just to put it in perspective, I was just looking at some numbers. Octo for last month on Android did 200K.
Oh,
DQT did 300K for the month. So it did 100,000 less in its first month that it wasn't really running a full month for. I mean, because these numbers are from 7/21 until I guess. Oh shit! Actually,
oh, is it calendar? So they do. Sorry, the last 30 days, not just the calendar month.
no,
Do you?
they took it for last month. So technically, the game made
I
two
thought.
hundred thousand dollars in 10 days on Android. Holy fuck!
Are you on Sensor Tower? Do you like pay for Sensor Tower?
No, I just do the free thing.
It's always trying to charge me. So sometimes I can't get around it trying to make
So
me pay for
what I
something.
have is like ad blockers and no scripts on my browser, so I don't even see any of that. So it basically
Oh,
just negates all that shit.
Okay, maybe it's just maybe it's my phone that the
Because I'm
ad
looking
blocker
right
doesn't
now,
work.
Octo had over 200,000 downloads last month. So from that short, which makes sense. It was a new game. People pre-downloaded, and they've got it at 200K revenue. And then Dragon Quest, as we all know, is like less than 5K downloads and 300K on Android.
See, because I've got it's showing me for July it was 300 on um, Android and then 300 on Apple.
Oh, you could see
You're talking
Apple as
about
well.
yeah, you have to search for when you search for Dragon Quest Tact,
Mm-hmm.
it's either the little Android icon or the Apple icon. They each have their own listing.
Oh, okay, I'm
So it
on the
made
Android
600,
one.
but again, that is for that's for assuming they're separate. Uh, yeah, it looks like it made around 600 last month, but that's the 1.5 anniversary. Like, it demands like a couple $100 from any paying players.
Right, it makes
So
sense.
that's definitely going to be a spike for them. I don't know if I can. I don't think you can roll back on Sensor Tower, at least not for free.
I'm looking to see what Octo did for iPhone now. I'm curious. Let me see. I may have to disable some of my blockers to be able to change things.
Hmm. But like I said, I don't know. We've gone on about this a lot. Like, I don't know how much the game costs to run. Maybe it's like 100,000 a month. People think that it's like nothing. People think it costs literally like $0. Like they run it through Google Translate. First of all, our translation is definitely way too good to be Google Translate. Game is translated by somebody that takes some time with it, because Google Translate is not magic. Fucking believe me. My God, trying to read Google translated information about this game is a nightmare. Um, you end up guessing on a lot of things. Uh, but yeah, there's just like cost of doing business, server fees. I don't know what server fees cost. I've heard they're not that bad, but like there are a lot of small costs to just doing international business, international especially. Um, but like say the game actually profits like anything over 100,000 revenue. So yeah, it's been averaging $400,000 or $500,000 a month revenue. So say it makes 300,000 or 400,000 a month. Like that's nothing to square. Like the team that they have dedicated to it might actually like they might not value that enough. Like no, we want it's more than Malcolm's just community manager. Like I don't think he's the biggest resource, but like yeah, our translation guy, we've got more use for him somewhere else. Just pull him off DQT Global. We're done. You know, um, like being in the black is not necessarily good enough with a company like Square Enix. That's what worries me. But on the other hand, I think that they do. I don't know. Maybe it's just advertising for Dragon Quest at this point.
I'd
It's
be
such a
more
well-made
worried
game.
if they started pulling the plug on some of the games under this. Like if Die went down and like Last Soldier went down and a couple other games, that would
I,
have me
I,
worried.
I guess the fact that Die is up does give me more confidence, but
Because Die
like,
makes nothing. Like if you look at the
no, there's no
charts,
reason for
yeah.
them to have Die Online right now. Like that is the closest thing I could contribute towards them doing it for customers. There's no way that they're not losing money on Die, because they're not making money on the JP version either.
No, it's a sad state of affairs for the
Yeah,
entire
like I
game.
said, last month they were less.
They don't
So
get
I have no idea
downloads and
why
they
Die
don't
is
get
still online.
revenue.
Um, but yeah, no, I really don't think they're going to take the game offline anytime soon. But I mean, I see players leaving more than they're coming in. They, it's not new player friendly. That would change a lot. And also like the fact that like if you leave, I know some people have come back, but like if you leave, you've got to accept that like you're going to be subpar basically forever. Even if you go back to your old account, if it has like 6 months of missed playtime on it, oh my god, you're just. That's why I didn't want my old account back. That's why I gave it away. Like, I would just come back to just a damaged account that would just make me feel
It'd
bad
be
all
an
the time.
uphill battle. It would be.
Yeah,
It's like no matter what you do, people who miss like die units and they want to rank up and they want to be like, top 20 and everything. Yeah, you could spend $4,000, you could spend $10,000, but you can't get back that time and you can't get those units, so it doesn't matter. There's like nothing you can do. That
Oh yeah,
sucks.
talking to like one of my new player guildmates the other day, they've been playing for a month or two. I'm like, oh, you know what? That team needs MAM. They're like, what? What's that? I'm like, oh, right. That's a unit that you can't have, and is broken isn't the right term, but like MAM is fucking amazing.
It's
Uh,
they put a lot into that unit. I mean, it's the only unit who does what she does with the follow up for, not only an attack but the ability to undo
the
paralysis.
the
It's crazy.
the unbalance among the A ranks is just fucking ridiculous.
And if you missed out on Red Hood, I feel bad for you because Red Hood's really awesome too in his own way.
Because he's not added to Reminiscence, right? Like anything new,
He won't be
put
there
the
for
old
a
stuff in
long time. I
Reminiscence,
mean,
right?
because we just got this event now. I mean, you could be waiting 6 months
I mean
to be
Red
able
Hood.
to get Red Hood.
Oh, okay.
Could be even
I yeah.
longer.
Okay, so I missed that. I wasn't sure how it worked. So they brought back the classic Christmas to Reminiscence, and then
A new event.
Red Hood was like a new event.
He was part of like
Okay,
the Santa Elena thing. He'll be
yeah.
back eventually, but I mean, it's like, you gotta wait six
Well,
months to get a really good unit in A rank. That's not gonna be a really good unit in 6 months from now unless he comes back with the Blossom, which that's always a plus, I guess. So that's not, hateful. But then you
yeah.
gotta, not only do you gotta rank the unit up, level them up, and blossom them up, say goodbye to your gold. Bye bye, gold. That sucks.
Yeah. Well, like, dude, when Erdrick comes, Erdrick is going to cost almost a 500,000 gold.
How many people could say they have that much gold on hand?
Dude, I've never, I don't think I've ever had 200. Like, yeah, I know, but like yeah, you're rolling around with your bronze rank weapons,
Woohoo!
bronze roll weapons. Dude, I cannot get the triple HP roll on that new
I haven't
luminary
tried
sword.
yet, and I don't know if I will. I'm
Dude, I'm not
scared.
talking about gold either. Like, just any 3 HP rolls I would be happy with for the most part.
It's the
It is
fucking
better than the
worst.
last one that I've got. Like, it's two, like, I've got 2 gold HP rolls on it, but I just want one good HP weapon.
I'm also
Although, to be fair,
surprised. I went and
I think
looked. Oh, go ahead.
I think the DQ3 event comes with another really solid HP weapon that has like a heal or something.
Huh. Like a self regen on it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
That might be worth rolling for.
they added Jessica to the DQT database. I feel like it's been a little while since they updated, so or maybe not. Okay, no, they had the Sage in there too. Okay, I'm being harsh. Um, is it the? Oops. Oh yeah. So the Kiseki sword comes with a proc to heal 125 damage or HP rather. It says recovers 125 HP when you attack physically. Uh, I don't know if it's guaranteed or
Or like a
um,
chance.
yeah, but so it comes with the rainbow rolls are physical potency +4, brilliant +5, then HP 84. You know that like a potency +4% or 5%. If you want to go that way, you just like it's a good third roll if you just get like other good rolls. But for the most part, if you want to aim for potency and attack, there's better weapons. This has 84 HP rainbow rolls and 81 HP to 77, 79, and 81 gold HP rolls. So maybe I should just hold off on this weapon right now because Key Sword literally says like you must roll for HP. Because
I
like
would
look,
do
I'm
that.
not saying there's no value in a unit that has like a 12 to 15% physical potency bonus, just general, but you can do a lot better. So with specific weapons that there's not competition for. So that is yeah, DQ3 comes with like so far the ultimate HP weapon. Oh, that's live arena. Thanks, Aces. Okay. I don't know how hard that's gonna get from there, but
Well,
um
that's definitely an incentive to do live arena. right,
Yeah,
Lucky?
I can't. It's got to be like the prize. I can't like what's going to be better than like the best HP sword. Okay, so that does mean like okay, I don't know what the aces back me up. Then I think we're gonna have to save some S rank sword uh, alchemy stones then. So I'm gonna guess that dupes are not gonna be super common. So, dude,
That would be
Kage,
something to
nobody
save
wants to
for.
see your animals on stream. Like that's such a cheap move.
All right, Lucky, go
Seriously,
hang
dude.
out. Crazy cat.
Yeah, dude, nobody wants to see that.
He gets views because he's black.
All right. Yeah. So anything else? We're at 2 hours now, and I know 2 hours is when people see the recording and they're like, "I'm not watching that."
It's like I can't do this, or well, because most people I think watch like when they're doing like their commute to work, and so maybe they'll just like break it up into two parts. I think
Yeah.
Exist has like a paper route, so he'll just watch it in between.
I know there have been some things that come out like, yeah, it's easier to watch them in the truck, and then like something I'm interested in, like an episode of Rogan or whatnot, comes out when I get like home for a week, and it's like, fuck, I want to listen to this, but I'm not listening to this at home. I need to be in the truck for
I
this.
just appreciate your schedule because like with Lex Luthor, it'd be like we have to do this at 11 o'clock at fucking night, and it's like nobody wants to like stay up for that shit. Like this is probably the most people concurrently we've had in a while for the show. Like we're hitting over 20 right now, which is great. Like thank you everybody
Yeah.
who's watching. It's awesome. Like
You want to keep having fun? Are we having fun? Are we keeping this going?
I mean I'm amused right now, and I'm not gonna be doing anything for a little bit. I'm not gonna eat until later.
You want me to put my helmet back on?
Fuck.
I got the Pink Ranger one this time. I know it's been in the background.
So how much did that cost you?
I think this was on clearance for like 80 or 90.
You
Or
paid
maybe it was
$80
60. I
for
can't
that?
remember. I think it retails for 100, and I know I got it on sale.
That's like two
And
and a half multis.
I really need a haircut. I do. It does look like a girl's wearing this helmet though, with the long hair.
Yeah, I could see where
And
people would think you were a woman in that.
it doesn't. I don't know. It's a little tight on the ears. It doesn't actually close all the way.
Well, just
I'm,
think
I'm
you're
afraid to
you're
just.
currently a '90s sex symbol for like 14-year-old boys who wanted to go home with the Pink Ranger.
Exactly what I'm aiming for on the internet. But hey, that's okay now. We call them maps, right?
Yeah, I guess we do call them maps.
No
It's a weird
judgment.
way to be.
Don't you judge them. It's a lifestyle choice.
Jesus Christ. Well, back in Rome, they were able like, okay, buddy, that was like how many years ago? That different culture, different everything. Jesus Christ. See, you have to grab the things. I have assistance from the wife. She's like, oh, I'm going to grab you a hat. Like, yay.
I never find the button for this thing. Went up.
I used to have one of those.
Oh, I'm reading your power level. Uh, it says 4.
I feel like it
Oh.
at this point.
Dude,
Shit.
have you watched you watched DBZ Abridged, right?
I watched some of it back in the day, and I even watched when they did those like parodies of the Cell tournament where they had like randoms like Yugi come on and like Ash Ketchum from fucking Pokemon and all that weird shit.
No, I just liked when they were doing the scouter and the famous scene when Goku shows up. Like, oh, his power level is 1006. Like, oh no, your scouter's upside down. You know, 'cause it's 9001.
Uh, those people.
But, oh, dude, I bought this. I think it was on. I think I got this on clearance too. Dude, I got the Tiger game. I had the.
Ooh. Okay, I remember those as a kid. Like, you had those, and then you had like the weird ones that used to be like. I had one with Sting from WCW. He was like a game, but you had like the figure too. I used to play the shit out of those games.
And it's funny, looking back, like they were so like non-functional and basic. It was basically pretending that you were playing a video game. You
Yeah,
know what
because
I
it was
mean?
just a couple of movements. It was just like it was
Yeah.
like a flash book. Essentially,
It's
one of those like little sketchbooks. Yeah, just flip.
dude, it's almost it's like yeah, you're literally deluding yourself. Like you want to play a video game so badly at home. You're like, well, this is it. I can basically pretend that I'm having fun with this. And you're a dumb kid, so it is fun.
Right, you don't know any better at the time. And then I got a Game Boy, and I was like, "Fuck these things,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
done. I'm out." I got a Game Boy, and oh shit, I used to have one of those. I don't know if you know what this is, but I used to have like a Sega Nomad.
Uh oh, I remember those being advertised. I almost got one when I was a kid. Like it was like one of the things I was potentially going to get for.
Horrible battery life to it because it was
I
like the
heard that. Yeah.
first because they took a Sega Genesis and they made it portable because you had the stupid Game
Yeah.
Gear. Game Gear was all right, and this Nomad, like you had to be plugged into like an outlet because otherwise you'd play for an hour and that was it. You were done. You needed batteries for the thing. It wasn't really a handheld.
Well, it's funny. Like when you look back, when you look at the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, and the Game Gear, you're like, how the fuck did that piece of shit Game Boy stand up to a Game Gear? They were both out at the exact same time. Maybe the Game Gear came out a little bit later, but like they were both relevant and popular at the same time. Yeah, the Game Gear, like, what, your batteries lasted like an hour in it? Uh,
Yeah, I mean the
the,
Game Gear, I think it lasted like 2.5
yeah,
hours. The Nomad
I think
lasted less.
the Game Boy lasted like 8, I think, on 4 AA's. And that was before rechargeable batteries. Like, mom, mom, more batteries,
I
more
need more,
batteries.
please. Maybe,
I'm,
maybe that's why it lasted because I mean if you were on a car trip, there's no way you had enough batteries for like a 4-hour trip to use a Game Gear or Nomad, but at least with the Game
yeah,
Boy, and they had cool
yeah.
accessories. They had like the backlights and everything for them.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the thing. That was why the Game Boy was a success. Like, it didn't eat batteries nearly as bad, and it might have been cheaper. Nintendo has always been very worried about the price point of their units. They just never drop the price on anything.
No,
They don't like that's why the Switch. I don't know how they make a profit on it. Apparently, they don't profit on like Xboxes and PS5s. At least they didn't last generation. But yeah, like Nintendo won't make a $400 console because that's too out of reach for some kids. But you're always buying 59.99 games though.
right.
So
You're buying $60 games, or nowadays you're just hoping and waiting online. Like the last time I bought a game on Switch was because I couldn't find it on sale anywhere else. I was looking on like PlayStation and Steam, and they had it for cheaper. But otherwise, I don't really buy anything for Switch. It just kind of sits there behind my TV, and it's like, oh, I have one of these. I played Shin Megami Tensei 5 on it, and that was all I used it for.
I have so many games that I tell myself I want to play for my Switch, and I just don't. I don't play video games much anymore. I think I tell myself that I'm a gamer, but I don't actually play anything anymore.
See, I still play shit all the time. I mean, I don't play as much console right now because of Octopath. I've just been playing the fuck out of that. But if there's something that interests me, I'll just play the hell out of it. Like, I played Evil Dead for like 3 weeks straight, and then the game just started getting boring, and I just put it down, and I'll probably never play it again. But it was fun for like
But
3 weeks, I had fun with it.
dude, I mean, like, dude, I've got the that last Pokemon game, the remake of the DS ones,
Oh, shit.
whatever Sapphire.
Hmm.
Haven't touched. I played that for like 5 minutes. It just
Yeah,
wasn't
you're
in
never
me.
going back to
Uh,
that. That's.
Three Houses, Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Shin Megami Tensei. I got both of the ones that, like the PS4 remake one too.
Oh, you got
Got
the
the older
Nocturne.
one.
The odd thing is,
Yeah,
I went through five. I played five, and then I went and got three, and I got halfway through three, and I was like, "Why am I still playing this? Five was a lot better," and I just
like
left it halfway through the game. I didn't even bother going back to it. It's there. I could
I
play it.
just
I
have
just didn't care.
all. Yeah, I just have all these games. Fuck my PS4 and PS5 games that I bought and haven't touched. A lot of good shit there too. Just buy games and then I just never ever play them now.
Well, now I just hope that we get some cool free shit. Like, if you haven't played much of the Yakuza series, like they've been giving out free Yakuza games with premium now, so that was cool. And then I
Yeah,
started playing, what was it, Tree of Mana? I didn't even know that was a free game for the month, so I started playing that a little bit. And I'm like, I'm gonna go back and play this later. When I'm bored, I'm gonna play through this game because I liked
yeah.
it. It wasn't bad.
It looked like it was interesting. Good graphics in it. Because it's an action JRPG, but it's simple, right?
Right, it's like so it's the same feel as the original games, just with more graphics. You know, you got an open field, you attack enemies. So I mean, it was just like when I was playing Secret of Mana back as a kid. They've kept the formula the same,
I
which
don't
is
know
kind
how
of
to put
sad.
it. Like as a kid, like anything that wasn't a turn-based RPG made me very anxious. Like I didn't I remember, and I grew up like with a broke single mom too. So I like begged her to get me Ocarina of Time, and I hated it. Like the 3D world, everything jumping out at me all the time. Like I made it to the second dungeon before I wouldn't say that it scared me, but like I was basically always on edge. I hated it, so I just like would only play turn-based RPGs for the longest time.
I mean, I had never had any problem with them, but I didn't like the sequel, like Majora's Mask. I enjoyed the first one, and then they just did like this
Sounds
time
torturous to
travel
me.
bullshit back and forth, and it was like
Yeah.
punishing. And then I had that same feeling. I don't know if you ever played this game, but this one was like it took me a long time to go back and beat it, but it was Breath of Fire Dragon's Quarter on the PlayStation 2. That game was awful. Like if you died, you had to start back from the entire beginning of the game and go through again. And this is an RPG. So I I got wiped out several times before I actually cleared the fucking game.
Dude, when you go back now and like you play a game where you go back to the save point, like your last save when you die, you're like, this is fucking brutal. I can't remember from it. I was having some fun on my Switch a couple weeks ago. I actually picked it up and I was playing. It was like Moro Crystal Chronicles. It's one of those like basically borderline or maybe fully etchy games. I
Hmm.
think they call them like the anime waifus and stuff like that. And it's a dungeon crawler one, but yeah, like I got a little bit over my head. It'd been like in between heals and things like that, and I lost. I hadn't saved in like an hour. It's like, all right, well, I'm just done with
Ooh.
this game. But that's like what everything was before. Um, it's hard to step back with some games.
I mean,
That's
there
why
was, I want to say
Dragon
maybe a
Quest has always
handful
been
of
fun.
games back in the day where I went back and looked over like one game I played, and I didn't even realize that this one game was like some Jurassic Park game, I think on like the Super Nintendo. They didn't even have save points. You had to complete the entire game
Oh,
in one sitting, and it's I can't do
oh, dude,
that. I
I
can't do that. I gotta go do something else. I mean, after a couple hours, unless I'm like playing a competitive game, I'm gonna get up and go do something else. I'm not gonna sit here and just leave this.
dude. I mean, I was like, I've always been terrible at platformers. I still am, but like, yeah, like the idea of beating a Mario or Sonic game when I was a kid, I was like, you can beat those. I thought it was just for like, expert adult players or something. Like, you don't realize like it was like a quest, like to beat. I mean, when I was real young, I had no idea about warp whistles, obviously, and but
Well, Sonic was a big fuck you because apparently there was like multiple endings and you had to get the Chaos Emeralds. Like I'd beat the game, and then I found out years later. Oh, well, you didn't get the true ending and you didn't fight the real boss. I'm like, there's a true ending to this. I'm not going back. Fuck that.
didn't and Sonic had continues, right? But only like three of them or
Yeah,
something.
like three. So I mean, not only did you have to get all the emeralds and within a certain amount of continues and all the other stuff, but if you didn't get all that, you didn't get the true ending, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna take the ending I got, and I didn't know any better. I was like, yeah, I won.
But I'll tell you, man, just that's been one of the best things about Dragon Quest is dying is like, look, you avoid it at all costs, but like if you die playing any Dragon Quest game, it's like, well, that sucks, but I still have everything that I earned in half my gold, which sucks. You don't want that, but it's also you're just a little careful. You make sure that you don't go out with like a bajillion gold in your purse.
Right. If you want to like be risky and if you want to venture out more, you don't bring any gold with you and you go venture off. And if something happens, you don't really take a huge penalty.
Yeah, no, you lose nothing. So I mean, like, if you were out for an hour in a dungeon or something, you'll lose half the gold that you gained, but you got a bunch of experience, so it's not even close to bad.
No, no, and unlike some of these newer games, like all the
I,
Dark Souls games are rough, and even the original series, Kingsfield, was rough because there wasn't many save points in that game. They didn't make it very clear on even how to save the game, and you could literally die in that game in the first 30 seconds of playing just by walking off, because the game started you on like this really dark area. You're out at like the edge of the island, and you had no idea about boundaries and other things. You just take like 2 steps to the right. Oh, you're died. You gotta start over, and then you go through a loading screen. You fucking loading screen.
oh my god, that's you played Witcher 3, right?
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
game.
it wasn't that bad to die in that game, I'm pretty sure, but like or no, it just went off auto saves, but you could have it set to auto save like every 3
Mm-hmm.
minutes or something, but you sure as shit didn't want to die because it was like a full minute reload.
Oh, it's a pain in the
Yeah, on the
ass.
PS4 at least. Oh my god. Yeah, dying was terrible.
I mean, now with better computers and better consoles, it's not that bad. Except in Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was awful. Like, not only when you died, you had to hope the game didn't fucking crash on you, but you had a decent loading screen. And this was on a PS5. Like, I don't get why they sent that game out so early. Because even on the PS5, it was. I must have crashed like 40 times. My wife would be watching me play this, and she's like, they didn't really do a good job on this. I'm like, no. No, they didn't. They didn't do a good job at all.
I'll
Which is
tell you,
sad.
I just like talking about Witcher 3 made me want to play it again. But I've played it like 3 or 4 times now. Dude, I think Witcher 3 might literally be the best video game ever. Like, it's just so amazing. But anyway, that's kind
Well,
of a crazy statement.
we'll see. I mean, it's tough because they did Witcher 3 and then they did Cyberpunk and now they're going to do Witcher 4 and it's I don't think
Have
they're
they
going to
said
be able to
anything
do
about
Witcher
that?
3 justice. I think they're going to fuck it up.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I have any, I'll call it interest at best in Final Fantasy 16 is it looks like they're going for a Witcher style. Um, I mean, maybe it's just general medieval Dark Ages aesthetic, but I don't know. Honestly, other than I think that they might borrow from Witcher 3 in it, is I don't like I'm not excited about that trailer at all. Like, it doesn't
I
look
mean,
interesting to
as
me at
somebody
all.
who played through 15 and then I saw that other game they tried to weasel out, I was thinking about buying it. I think it was like the Chaos Precore, whatever game they came out with. I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to grab this. It's just like I don't know. I mean, they've got to do a lot to bring me back to the table because 15 kind of it hired my expectations in some areas and it lowered them in others because of they
Did,
basically tried to take the entire story, get you invested, and then lock the rest of it behind a DLC paywall.
yeah, honestly, yeah. So the DLC situation was kind of just fucked up in
And they
15,
never
but
finished it. They left it. They like started
yeah,
it. They
because
got a lot out, and then they just like left it
yeah,
on.
it was like they
Yeah,
were
they
surprised
just
to
gave
find
up.
out that people didn't like that system of like, yeah, some of the story is lacked behind DLC that'll be out next year. Um, like
I mean,
basically it came out a year early, but like they took what 15 years to make the game,
oh,
kind of
I mean,
in a way.
technically, they started work on that game. I think back in like 2006, 2007, and they went through several iterations,
Hmm.
and it made no sense to me. It's like, okay, sure, I got the season pass. I'm gonna get a lot out of this. Cool, but you didn't have to. You didn't have to tie those story elements to stuff that wasn't going to come out in a year. You could have just done like what most games do and have like a separate adventure. Do something different. Move on and do something creative. Like instead of just trying to like get people who didn't buy the deluxe edition to come back and give you an extra $20 every little expansion.
That's the is
That's Square
like
for you though. That's Square in a nutshell.
that's what I was about to ramble on about again. Is like that. I know the video game industry, the player base is full of people that think that they know better, and they almost never do. Like that's like it's like one of the biggest rules of game development is like I think the Pokemon creators have just like literally laughed on camera about like if we followed all the suggestions we got from the player base, nobody would play that shitty game. Players don't know what they want. On the other hand, though, who the fuck is running Square Enix? Oh my god, dude.
You know
They're
who else said
fucking
that very
morons.
same statement and then basically ate shit on it? Blizzard. Blizzard,
Yeah.
I remember players making suggestions that people wanted WoW Classic, and they said, "No, you don't. Nobody ever wants to play that again." And now here's WoW Classic, all these years
Yeah.
later. Fucking
I
stupid.
have not kept up with Blizzard. I know that like WoW players are hopelessly addicted, but shit on Blizzard all the time. Which is like I said, like, dude, everybody used to jump on me whenever I would critique DQT. I'm like, dude, go watch any content about like anything Blizzard, Wizards, or anything like that. Like they fucking hate the company that makes it, but you know they're still making content. Um, yeah, I don't know what's up with Blizzard. Obviously, they're trying to be greedy with the Diablo stuff. I think they, well, you know, we'd like to say that they killed Diablo, but everybody that bought 3 is still going to buy 4. So,
Yeah, I'm probably. Let's be honest. I'm gonna buy
although
4. I'm
are they?
curious.
I think they are they looking to weasel microtransactions into 4.
They are. They are. I think they're gonna try and walk some of it back, because, I mean, let's be honest. Because of Immortal, they don't really need to do that. I mean, they're getting plenty of fucking money from all these idiots. You know, you got people throwing 100 grand at this game and wondering why they can't PvP and all this other stuff. They don't need to do this to 4. And on top of that, I mean, Microsoft's going to step in at some point and take over anyway. So it's like, you've already made your portfolio look a lot better with Immortal. You don't have to do this. You could just make a good game and not fuck us and get. We'll pay you $60. We'll pay you an extra 60 for like a deluxe edition or like a collector's edition. We'll pay you extra money for that stuff. You're gonna get your pound of flesh out of us, but I mean, quit trying to
Yeah,
hit people on the back end for stuff that it's not.
yeah, that's the proper way to get additional monies from fans is very important. Like, you know, I like a lot of JRPGs, and there's some like smaller ones. I'm like, dude, I love this game. I literally wish I could give them more money for something worth my time. But it's always like cosmetic stuff, and I'm like, I'm not buying cosmetics. Like,
No,
not
there's
that
no
guy.
point. But if they did like a cool little box set or something, and you really like the game,
A collector's
yeah,
edition, yeah, that was
you'd
a
pay more.
reasonably priced collector's edition, that wasn't based around the MSRP of the game. That in a heartbeat for a game that I liked. Witcher 3, I literally feel like Witcher 3 is the best video game ever made. Like I feel like that's a fact. It's not even my favorite. I think it's the best. When they did the physical version of Gwent, I bought that immediately just because I wanted it, and I just wanted to support CDPR. You know,
Which is sad
um,
because of what happened with Cyberpunk, because they had so much goodwill, and
yeah,
it's just, it
it
doesn't
feels
take a
like,
lot to lose that goodwill. Like, it really
yeah, it's like
doesn't.
that's not the same company. That's not my CD Project Red. Like,
Right. It's like
who
we're
cared about Witcher? And you know, with a company like Square Enix, you'd be like, oh, it's a different team. But like CDPR only has one team. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, they've only
So
got one real team. Maybe they have a couple of smaller divisions, but I mean, it's the same people at the helm. It's the same people calling the shots who've been there for 20 something years, and
I
it's sad.
yeah, I didn't keep up with all of like. Did they get greedy with Cyberpunk, or do you think that it just like, dude, I gotta imagine. Sometimes you can be like, what do these games cost now? Like, they cost millions. Is it
Oh,
tens of
it's
millions? I'm not sure.
what happened is
Um,
it seemed like they didn't want to crunch. They didn't want to crunch their employees. They still had to anyway, and they
hmm,
had a bunch of investors breathing down their necks about some stuff. So they overplayed their hand. And
hmm,
if the game came out a year later, I don't think they would have had half of as much problems that they have now. They would have had some,
yeah,
because it's a big game. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of things could go wrong, and even like littler games. Like we look at Dragon Quest and some of the errors and things this little mobile game has, and then you look at a huge, expansive world where they even hired Keanu Reeves to play the main character. I mean, they put a lot of money into this game.
yeah.
So
So I
things
don't
went
think it was
wrong.
them being shitty. I think it was just reality getting in the way for
They ran out of
You know,
time. They put a time frame on there. They didn't stick to their guns. It's like this this one guy says, you know, a delayed game is eventually good. A rush game is forever bad,
I
and it's
think that's
true.
Miyamoto.
I think it is Miyamoto. I think that's his saying, and he's
Yeah.
right on the money. I mean,
I mean, it's not as true as it used to be. You can fix things, but like, so you can launch with bugs now, and people complain about that. Like, they shouldn't be able to do that. Like, why do I always have to wait for a day one patch? Dude, shut the fuck up. Do you know how
but
complex modern day
oddly
video
enough,
games
this is
are?
the one place where people stand their ground. Like if a game gets a really bad rap, not as many people are going to come back and give it a second chance. Like
Oh,
all these,
it's all hype, and
yeah,
like, first week sales mean a lot for a video. It's like the same for movies. Like, even if a movie is profitable or a game is profitable overall, when the investors see that it didn't make huge money day one, sometimes that's bad enough for,
right. Because there
future
could have been a
decisions.
whole pipeline for additional content, and other things like No Man's Sky really fucked up. They eventually fixed things, but even to
I was
this
thinking
day,
about them, yeah.
people shit on that game. People shit
Because
on
apparently they've basically delivered on their original promise. It's not my
eventually,
type of
yeah.
game, but apparently that game's fucking amazing now. But everybody hates No Man's Sky, or what is it, Happy Games or something?
Right.
Smile
They hate
Games.
the company. I mean, I looked into some of why it happened. They had some like apparently like their office was like trashed during a storm. They had some setbacks and other shit
Like an
going on.
indie studio, right?
Yeah, they were like an indie studio, and I mean they had a lot of setbacks, and so things happened and they really got fucked over. But at the same time, it's like
I'm
nobody's
gonna
gonna
be
remember what they did. Everybody remembers how they fucked up.
I'm gonna be a little insulting, and you could put political note behind this. I think a lot of avid video game, like the people that pay attention to all this video game based drama, like I feel like a lot of them have no idea how money or business works. So it's probably like, dude, you get like millions of dollars into a game, like there's probably some things where you could just find out, like, I don't know, there's just like bug fixes. Like you just think, oh, they just go in and fix that bug. These people have no idea how complicated these systems are. There's systems on systems.
Well, I
Um,
mean, what they said their like whole
it's
office
a
was
modern
like
miracle.
ransacked from a storm. I'm like, well, it can't be easy for them just to relocate to another office and get everything up and running.
Yeah.
It's not like a magic light switch. I mean, these are workstations. These are people's lives that they had to get everything up and running. They probably lost like 6 months to a year of just development on the game from just
Shit, dude.
that setback.
If they're in like video game capital San Francisco, good luck finding just another office space like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's going to cost you $2 bajillion. But yeah, like there's a lot of like, it's not always greed. It's like, no, we just are out of money, and the boss said that we have to go. Like,
Now there is incompetency. I mean, if there was when what's his name, Kurt Schilling tried to do a gaming company and make an MMORPG, he dropped like $70 million and just shit the bed. There are plenty of stories of people who don't know what they're doing. Now, did he make a good single player game? He did okay. He made like I think it was like Kingdoms of MLR or something. It came free on PS Plus. I played it for a bit, but
I think my brother-in-law liked that one.
it's like he tried to do an MMO out of that afterwards. It's like one, I'm surprised you know what an MMO is, Mister Kurt Schilling, and two, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah. What was I gonna? Oh, dude, just this didn't really screw anybody over, but dude, I just remember like how bad I wanted. Do you remember Scalebound? It was going to be on the Xbox One.
I'm assuming that game never came out because I don't remember it at all.
Okay, yeah, no, it was like it was only like preview trailers, but it was like the main character was like I remember he wore headphones. He was like fighting with a sword and stuff like that, and he had like a dragon that he can kind of control in battle. Like he basically had a dragon fighting alongside of him, like separately. It was supposed to also showcase how amazing like Xbox One AI was capable of being, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Scalebound, dude. If you look at the trailer, I almost guarantee that you would be excited about this game. And after talking about it for a couple of years, they're like, "Yeah, it's not coming out. Like it just didn't work." Which is kind of what I was getting at before. Like, I don't think that was cyberpunk, but like, dude, can you imagine being millions of dollars into game development and then it just kind of starts coming together, and then you realize like it's not actually coming together. Like, this just doesn't actually work. So
Yeah, it
I don't know.
says as of like 2020, basically Microsoft still owns the intellectual property.
Oh, they canceled it years ago, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if they. There's a difference between canceling and like not talking about it. I think they
Well,
no, they did. They definitely made an announcement that they're
well, here's a good
ending
example of
development.
that. Dead Island 2 is actually coming out next year now. After like years of silence and speculation, that game resurfaced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I thought Dead Island 2 was done, but no, it's coming out next year. Like I don't know if it's going to be any good. I liked the first Dead Island game. I enjoyed it, but it's just like holy shit.
Yeah, and
This it took what, 6 years, 7 years?
that's the thing. Yeah, when a game got started like 5 or 10 years ago, like do you want it to come out? Like some games are fine. Like there's some 360 games that all you need to do is I don't know all the technical stuff. Like update the. I don't know if you can just convert things from like Unreal 4 to 5, or if just if it's a top tier game, like you just need to upscale the resolution basically. I was talking last week, some of these PS2 games, all they need is more resolution and they stand up with at least budget JRPGs. um, so
So I don't know
yeah.
what's going to happen. I mean, it's it's one thing when okay, a game gets delayed and eventually comes out, but some of these games don't stand the test of time at all. Like look at what was it, Duke Nukem Forever? That
Oh
that
yeah.
really missed the mark. that missed the mark. It missed the audience. It missed everything. It took so long to come out.
Didn't that game, like, didn't the company or the game get bought during development or something? So like
Something
one
it like ended
studio.
up in somebody else's hands, and then eventually some other company finished it up. But I used to like
Yeah.
Duke Nukem games when I was a kid. Like I played them when I was like 14. They were great. But it's like Duke Nukem now. They they missed the boat. They should have had that game out when I was like 20, not 35.
Yeah, there's just some games that are just too dated. Oh, oh. I think I gotta take care of my boy here, so
All
I think
right,
I might call this. Yeah, I'm out of my water. I gotta pee soon, so
and I'm gonna
tired
go
of
get
talking to
some.
you.
Nah, this was great. This has killed enough time. I can go get some dinner. I'm hungry as fuck. It's like I
Okay.
fast, so I try and like put off eating as long as possible.
Oh yeah. So all right, well you pee on me later, but yeah, if we can do these earlier times, like before 11 East Coast, that
I
was
think
fine for me
everybody
last week.
appreciates it. Like our
Yeah,
viewership's up. We hit over like 20 consecutive viewers at a time or concurrent viewers. So
yeah.
it's a better
I
time
just
slot.
yeah, like I said, I'm doing my diet now, and like I think my diet, like, and I'm trying to mix in some fasting too, and like fasting's a little tougher when you wake up at noon one day and 4 the next day, etc. Like, I don't want to be a vampire anymore.
I think you'd make a pretty good vampire. You definitely
Oh,
scare people.
okay, that's the sweetest thing you've ever said.
Thank you. Thank you, you bloodsucker.
Uh, all right, so I'm done. All right,
All
so thank
right,
you,
take care,
YouTube
guys.
audience. All right,
All right, be sure to check out Chase at chasegames.com or his
for
little
my
thing.
no
It'll be in the
content.
description here. I've got his link below. And other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Probably same time, maybe a little earlier, but I think this is like a good time slot on a Saturday.
Hi, Queenie.
See you guys.